Hello, Luke here. I would just like to take a moment to disclose upfront that we sometimes talk about sensitive topics in our podcasts, and in fairness to our audience, we will try our best to put specific warnings in the descriptions of each episode. Now on with the show.
Say I'm disheveled, since my apartment leveled, I'll just ignore it. But the boss keeps saying my lips just a little too split, cheeks just a little too swole, my eyes just a little too bruised. Maybe I'm seeing something they don't dirt, and baby, I'm in this club I can't talk about. I'm in this club I can't talk about. I'm in this club I can't talk about. Yes, that's my blood. Yeah.
Of all the songs to choose from.
I know. Believe it or not, it was nice. That or Horse with No Name. I was like, that's what I was struggling between. I was like,
And welcome to the Nostalgia Killers podcast, where we revisit films from our youth to see if they still hold up or should be inserted into the great DVD player in the sky. I'm Luc Londe, joined almost as always again by Chuck Starzenski.
The walking calamity once again is here.
And once again by Lauren Heney.
Yeah.
That's right. It's your Lauren.
Happy to be here.
Yeah. And our newest special guest, Sam.
Hey.
Coughlin.
I just wanted the one name.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sam
Sam
Coughlin.
Coughlin. Yeah.
You can bleep out the last
I'll cut that
name.
part out.
Yeah.
It'd
Yeah.
be like the Beatrix.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm jazzed. I'm going to talk so much about this movie.
Yeah. We rewatched Fight Club.
Yeah.
That thing that makes me think of country music and what they're going to talk about.
Exactly. Anyways, here's the trailer. How much can you really know about yourself if you've never been in a fight? I don't know. My apartment blew up, and I just feel very emasculated by everything because I'm a man. It's like, first rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Second rule of Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. Third rule of Fight Club, have a really nice time.
Exactly. That's it.
But yeah, since this was your pick, Sam, what was your nostalgic nostalgic attachment? What was your nostalgic attachment
The
to the
fucking
film?
suit's gotten to you, man.
I know, the suit has gotten to my head. For those who are listening, I am wearing a three-piece suit right now.
My nostalgic attachment. Oh, man. That's it's a big answer for that question because it's all over the place. Like, my nostalgic attachment is I'm a 34-year-old boy who can't get by in the world because he doesn't believe in material things. Cool, right?
It's so cool.
Your nostalgic attachment is you are Tyler Durden.
Well, I wish. Yeah, my nostalgic attachment is like, I don't know. It's all over the place. It is like a very deep-seated, I do have a little Tyler Durden that lives in my head. And he tells me that I shouldn't bother doing things that people say are cool. Like, ironically, I know we're about to talk about a David Fincher movie, and I looked them all up, and I was like, oh, I haven't seen any of these because everybody said they were good, and so I didn't watch them. Tyler Durden told me not to.
Yeah.
You know?
So mysterious.
Yeah, Tyler Durden, every time I want to buy a new pair of shoes or pants, he's like, you don't really need that. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Tyler. Tyler Durden speaks for me a lot, you know? Like, I'm nervous right now because this is being recorded, so this is probably all Tyler, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just going to be me listening back and be like, did I say that? Do I think that?
Is he in the room with us right now?
Yeah. Tyler Durden, you know, like, that's my nostalgic attachment. Is this little like splinter in my brain that I can't quite get out. And I, don't know if I would remove it if I could even. I don't know.
Right on.
Yeah, like a deep-seated skepticism that most people grow out of. That's my nostalgic attachment.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
It's pretty unique and frightening.
Yeah.
How about you, Lauren?
I guess I think I watched the movie first probably when I was about 14, 15, somewhere in that age range. And during this time, my light edgelord period, which I hold near and dear to me, I was watching, I think, discovering a bunch of film that had been not withheld to me necessarily, but wasn't something that was like projected as like, this is something a young teenage girl should be watching. It was things that I was seeking out for the first time as I was getting like deeper into the cinema.
She used air quotes there, by the way.
Yeah, I did.
The suit's getting to Lauren too.
So I think I watched this. I read the book probably right afterwards. And like in this period of my life, I was probably definitely also reading a bunch of Bret Easton Ellis and just really kind of discovering what I enjoyed cinematically and artistically and kind of pushing the boundaries of like what was available to me like socially and like in my friend group, or what was like outside of that, and something a little more interesting to me that like fucked with my mind a little bit. And this like fit right into my like burgeoning growing brain as basically a child. So I think this is probably the first David Fincher movie I ever watched, and he might be my favorite director.
Right on.
And yeah,
That's okay.
I have a lot of feelings. But yeah, I remember watching this and not knowing anything about it and having my mind fucking blown.
Yeah.
And everybody's super cool and super hot and looked really good at the time. So there you go.
Right on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this came out when I was 19. I was on my first ship in the Coast Guard, and I probably saw this 2 or 3 times in the theater. It happened to be in port when it came out. And this came out the same year. I was looking back, the same year as The Matrix, same year as The Sixth Sense. So this was like the year of twists and turns and heavy philosophy in movies. And this was I didn't know it at the time, but this was kind of my first introduction to Nietzsche and looking at consumerism in a certain way.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Yeah, and the things that you own end up owning you. That's what my big takeaway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't, because I was in the Coast Guard, I went right back out to sea after this, and I didn't experience any of the edgelord stuff people talk about in this movie. I understand it was a cultural thing that happened, but like me and my friends, we watched this movie, we went out to sea and we talked about it, but we didn't start a fight club. We didn't like, I don't know, abandon our work or whatever to, I don't know, but we just really like took it in, and it's been, on top of being a phenomenally made film that has instructed my filmmaking and my creativity my entire adult life. It's also, I'm realizing now that I didn't learn about consumerism and like the malaise of living in a consumer society and all that stuff. It just reaffirmed what I had kind of discovered myself and as a teenager. So it was like, it kind of reaffirmed this feeling like, what the fuck am I doing? What's the point of my life? You know, what's my story going to be? Do I need one? That kind of stuff. This has been like a seriously important film for me. And like, yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm so sorry. I'm just going to snag the ball back real quick. I was 15 or 16 when I watched this. Didn't see it in theaters. Saw it on tape, like probably a lot of people. I forget that, like, you don't need to go right to the deep psychological stuff. Just tell people when you saw it. How old were you?
No, it's all good.
Sorry, guys. I just like jumped right into Tyler Durden into the
I
pool.
mean, if not now on this podcast for this movie, then when?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
This isn't quite a support meeting, but it helps.
But I was not in the Coast Guard. I was a teenager living at home. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to see a trend here. Yeah, this was a groundbreaking film for me as well. I was 10 when it came out, but probably saw it around 11. Yeah, I grew up with little to no restrictions, so it was, it was just there. I could rent it. It was fine. I instantly fell in love with it. For better or for worse, it quickly became a defining film of my teenage years and helped catapult me into becoming a misanthropic little edgelord. This movie had, I did not get the message of this at all. Like, I was like, hell yeah, let's just,
Burn it to the ground.
Burn to the ground. Well, I got that part of the message. On the bright side, though, it did get me back into reading, but much like Lauren said, it got me back into reading Polinick and Bret Easton Ellis and all that kind of stuff. It was also my first ever like twist ending film, I think, aside from Sixth Sense. I don't know which I saw first because they came out in the same year, but completely blew my little mind. And finally, yeah, I grew up listening to pretty much just like rock radio, here at home. It was 101.7 The Fox.
Yeah.
The Fox rocks. But yeah, I grew up listening to that. So this also introduced me to like the Pixies and like just indie rock in general and stuff like that. There was like a lot of cool, fun, like kind of techno-y, like late 90s things going on that I was like, oh, yeah. This isn't Disturbed, and I like this? Okay, cool.
And that's okay?
And that's okay?
Yeah.
Wait, Korn didn't do the soundtrack, and that's all right? Okay. All right.
Yeah, the score was a big winner for me. The Dust Brothers. I have the records too. I was going to bring them.
Oh, no way.
We're doing it at my house, but
I guess that was just for the podcast.
Yeah.
I know you have the records. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, goody. I was like, I've seen them.
Right on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Right on. All right, Sam. How about
I just got to say, someone when I was young said something about a movie called The Usual Suspects.
Mm-hmm.
And that's something that they said ruined the movie for me.
Oh.
Do you guys know what they said? I don't even want to hint at it. They ruined the twist ending.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how we should treat this because...
This movie is very, very old, Sam.
Okay, it's very old. Anyone who's going to be into it.
We never do a spoilers thing because if you haven't watched this movie by the time we talked about it,
it's over 20 years
It's your own fault.
Okay. So I'm just going to go for it.
What year did this come out?
1999.
Yeah. So, anyone listening, stop right now. Spoiler alerts for a movie that came out over 20 years ago.
But still, I was like, The Usual Suspect is still a great movie. And by the time I was old enough to get it, like it had been spoiled for me. And
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens.
No. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Life is hard.
What would Tyler Durden do? He would spoil it.
This
Exactly.
He'd splice a dick right in the middle.
Yeah, he would.
Kevin Spacey's fucking.
So would Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, he'd enjoy that actually.
Any favorite scenes that pop out to you, like one or two or three?
My favorite, I have like, it's funny. I looked through the sort of like template that you guys sent me. And it was like, nostalgic moments, the Hans Gruber, all that, whatever the fuck. I looked at it. Okay.
Look, I read the paperwork.
Hans Gruber, whoever. But I thought I answered all the questions before I rewatched the movie. And so, and it was funny because the three things that came back to me with the most like oomph were all sound related things. One of them was, and that's what reminded me of the twist ending. It's because that sound that happens like at the twist ending, which I did not see coming. And everybody else who I've ever spoken to about this film says like, oh, well, it's good, even though you can see the twist coming a mile away. And it's like, you know what? I was right alongside that story. I was like 100% into that story. I was like, there's been some kind of mix up. Tyler must have said that, oh, no. There's been some kind of mistake. And then that happens. Boom.
I submitted myself to it too. The first time I watched it, I just like wasn't looking for twists or anything.
And chills still run up my spine.
Right on.
That scene. Like I know it.
Oh yeah.
Whatever.
No.
That Tom Waits coming on in the bar and he's singing, I'm going out west where the wind blows tall. And he's singing,
I know karate
and voodoo too. And then he sings, what does he sing
Make
about?
myself available to you.
Yeah. I'm not handsome. I've got a masculine face.
Yeah. I got real scars.
I got real scars.
Hair on my chest.
Da-na-na-na.
I look good without a shirt on.
Dude. And I'm just like, yeah. And then the Pixies at the end.
Fuck yeah.
As they're like strumming their guitars and the history of civilization is collapsing around everyone. Spoiler alert. It was three sounds that all jumped into my mind,
Very
and
nice.
there's so much thematically happening in the movie. And that's all like I said, it's splintered throughout my brain to the point where I couldn't get it out if I wanted to. But those three sounds were like, 1, 2, 3. These are the most memorable moments of the movie.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sort of interesting.
Yeah, that's great. We haven't had that yet.
Yeah.
My favorites, I rewatched it on Wednesday night. Were, for lack of a better word, the like collage montage moments. So like those were the ones that I wrote down because I was just writing down, and they all happened to be in the same exact style. So like the opening, like IKEA, like that section, the walk and talk with Marla, where you're like introducing, and then the Tyler intro. These are all very similar. They're shot pretty much the same way. And I think that's one of my favorite things about David Fincher films is the way that they are shot. And apparently he's like, you know, fucking crazy about that shit.
Yeah.
And there's a reason they look so good, because he does them 1,000 times to get them absolutely fucking perfect.
Really? Huh.
But all of these, they're just so kinetic and inviting, and you so quickly and understand what our three main protagonists are, who they are, how they interact with the world, and what your relationship is going to be with them as they develop. So yeah, the first one being with the narrator character right in the beginning when he's still like absolutely just brain dead. Like one of my favorite shots is he's like sideways on the couch, like flipping the TV, and he's like open mouth drooling basically. And that's part of the IKEA thing. And then like Marla just stealing a pair of jeans out of the dryer to go like pawn them. And then I think in the Taylor Durden like introduction, you get the him working as the projectionist too, which is like it's interesting because it's funny and it's like super, it's like offensive but inoffensive. Like everybody can like laugh at this, but it is really tipping the hand of like he like the deep wells of like I don't give a fuck anarchy within this side of the character, basically. So I really enjoy all of them because of the way they're shot and edited, but I think they're just really great character introductions. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mine, rewatching it this time, I've always liked the IKEA introduction, the filling out of the apartment and then him walking in front of it. That's inspired a lot of my creative efforts and a lot of the things I've done.
It's also just fucking funny too.
Oh,
Yeah. It wasn't even until like the year before the pandemic I actually went to IKEA for the first time because I needed cheap furniture, and it was like, oh yeah, this fits. I know what this is.
The Schlarkenborg.
Yeah, so you picked up a Flugenheim.
That's right. I also got Lou taking all the blood to the face.
Yeah, that's so good. Oh, come on, Lou. We like it here.
Come on, Lou.
If you're familiar with David Fincher, and a lot of people are, he does a lot of takes, and that guy had to sit through that, getting the blood, for real spit of blood from Brad Pitt, dripping off him, the nastiest shit, 20, 30 times, you know, resetting in between each one. Dude, yeah, that's dedication, torture, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. There's all kinds of torture in this film.
I've been doing this for 45 years. This fucking guy.
And then Jack's framing of his boss in front of his boss.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Is just
that's like and at the end of it, it's like, please stop.
Yeah,
so good.
Please don't hit me again.
Yeah, for mine, I've got, just to reiterate, Luke's two. Those are my two tops as well. Just the narrator being the shit out of himself in his office, and Tyler getting beat up by Lou when he tries to kick them out of the basement. But a couple that we didn't touch on were, I guess one that we didn't touch on, because we talked about the whole realization that he is Tyler. So I guess
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. Sorry, spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. 24 years later.
Exactly. But yeah, I guess my one scene that we didn't touch is the convenience store clerk motivation scene.
Oh, yeah.
Dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saving all that because, oh man, I love all this stuff. I love it all. Sorry. I just almost got up out of my chair.
He did. He almost left.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the whole, it's like, what did you want to be? Like, it's like, got exactly like 6. It's like, I'm gonna check up on you in like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
If you're not on your way to being a veterinarian, I'm gonna blow your fucking brains out.
Yeah.
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 It's like, and that whole chunk always stuck with me too. Like, He's going to wake up tomorrow. His breakfast is going to taste sweeter than any breakfast we have ever had.
Tomorrow will be the most incredible day of Raymond Castle's life.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've taken that with me. Like
His breakfast will taste better than any meal you or I have ever
And it's such a
eaten.
beautiful scene. Like,
and why would you not in 6 weeks be doing whatever you wanted to do with your life?
yeah, if you had
Why
that
would you
close
not?
to a near-death experience.
I would
Like,
just add a nitpick because he took his driver's license. It's really hard to get anything fucking done without a driver's license.
So you got to really want
One little plot hole, but yeah.
yeah.
It's quicker than a photocopy. Yeah.
Oh, God. Could you
Now, Raymond, in 6 weeks, I'm going to check in on you. Also, do you have a copy machine I could use real quick? Because I understand it's hard to do anything without your driver's license. And I am asking a lot of you, buddy.
Yep.
Can you imagine the utter fear that man is living in because he can't like apply for veterinary school because it's like, well, yeah, if we could just
Take a look at your ID.
take a look at your ID.
Yeah, we
real-
do
yeah.
need to see some ID, Mr. Hessel. Do you think Tyler ever checked in on any of those people? I don't think he did.
No.
Nah.
No.
But yeah, that's what I got for favorites. But since you mentioned a nitpick, you can go right into it if you want.
That's all I had. I mean,
Yeah.
there are other things, but I forgive them totally because I just love this movie.
I got one major nitpick, and it's not like, again, do love this movie. But for a guy that sure hates corporations and corporate expansion a lot, Tyler sure does love to franchise.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
It's community building. It's
It
not
is, I guess.
franchising.
Yeah. He refers to it as franchising, though.
Mm.
And yeah, other than that, it's like I have no issues with the movie itself. I have issues with its influence on people in the real world who lack media literacy.
Yeah.
That's kind of where my, my nitpick is.
Yeah. What's your nitpick?
I mean, my nitpick, my nitpick is angry white men. You know, like we 24 years later, spoiler alert, you know, like we just had this like
Wait, I
It's
haven't
like-
watched that yet.
yeah, oh yeah, dude, people stormed the Capitol. It was mostly white
Yeah,
men,
yeah.
and they were pissed about living in a very comfortable middle class setting, you know? So that's like, there's this funny thing all throughout the movie. It's like a huge nitpick. It's not even a nit because it's not anywhere you can pick it from, but it's this general underlying thing of like, yeah, we're okay with this, like this sort of anger and resentment, you know, like, again, like you're saying, there's people who interpret it boldly and maybe ignorantly and are like, yeah, I should be angry.
Yeah.
You know, like there's definitely a satirical element, which I got, you know, I'm 34 now and I finally watched it. I was like, oh, this movie's funny. I get it. There's a lot of like rib poking, you know, like, this is like not entirely serious, but that's like my big nitpick with it. There's like one important female character who mostly exists in relation to the male characters. You know, also she gets like picked up and fucked silly while she's delirious and suicidal. That was like, oh, is that cool anymore?
No.
I don't know. Oh, but she's into it. I don't know. Like, yeah, there's like a lot of little things that make me like, they're not exactly filmmaking nitpicks, but they're kind of like thematic, like, oh, yeah, is that, I don't know.
The one thing that I will say, like, I agree that she is not the most realized character, but she is a developed character. Like, if you plopped Marla in a situation, we know how she's going to react. And I feel like that in the grand scheme of movies like this, she's actually a pretty strong female representation overall. I really actually enjoy the Marla character quite a bit as the only female character in the movie. But, you know, this is a story about sad white boys, so that's why we're
Angry.
here. Angry sad white boys.
I would put it out there and go a step further. And if you look at any David Fincher
Oh,
movie,
yeah.
it's all about boys.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's not as bad as, like, Nolan with the wife problem, but,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I mean, there are a couple, like, standout Fincher movies where there are female protagonists. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I'm using quote marks again. I cite here Gone Girl and Girl with a Dragon Tattoo. They're both deeply troubled sociopaths. Lovable or not so lovable.
Well, like a lot of his male protagonists, to be fair.
To be fair, yeah. It's yeah, I have conflict within myself. I don't like, as I said before we started recording, I'm an okay feminist. I'm not the best.
This is Lauren Heney signing off for this film for all womankind.
I'm an okay feminist.
Yeah, a lot of
pressure. This gets like a blue check.
And I mean, also, those are all like nitpicks that I offer from however far in the future we are. You know, like in another 20 odd years, you know, there would be a whole other host of nitpicks that nobody might have had at the time, you know, in the late 90s or no, I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, the screenplay kind of sags around like the end of the second, beginning of the third act. And I think it's like, it's got the structure of a novel, essentially. Like the story does not move.
Caught a fly with my hand.
Whoa, sick. The story, I'm sorry.
You're slowly becoming.
But the story doesn't move in a linear way that like a really well-written screenplay does, where it's like, oh, we have to have scene 3 because what just happened in scene 2. It meanders, and I love it, and it's like there's a lot of really great meandering, but I do always get to that point about 2/3 of the way through the film where I'm kind of like, am I going to turn this off now or I'm going to finish watching it? I'm going to finish watching it because I have to talk about it authoritatively in a few days. And I always do finish watching it because I always like it. You know, it's not till it's usually around the point where he's like running until his veins pumped battery acid that I'm like, all right, let's get to the explosions and the cool part, you know, like let's get to the pixies. It's based on a novel. So, like, I don't know if that's even a valid nitpick. No. I don't know. Yeah. Gets a little saggy right around
I will say that also the 2 movies that I cited with the female protagonists are also based on novels as well. Yeah. So these are firmly established characters. They're not something that's, like, being creative in terms of, like, him working on a script or having a script presented to him. These are the characters who are driving the plot line, so they must be in there. So, you know, I still really like all those movies, so
sure,
I can enjoy films about men sometimes. It's okay. As a feminist, that's my right.
I was gonna say, yeah, as a woman, that is your choice. You are allowed to choose that. We talked about meandering. Yeah, let's move things on a little bit.
Hell yeah.
We got our rainy day double feature. Yeah. What movie would you guys like to pair this one with?
I have one that we watched on Friday.
Oh, going new.
I am. It's How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Oh, nice. What do you guys think?
That was really good.
Yeah.
Without spoiling it or going into it, I fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was interesting. And I would pair this because it is people who are driven to push societal boundaries, but in juxtaposition to Fight Club, it's a very like personally compelling as opposed to just ideology. So it's a really like interesting pairing to kind of watch them one right after the other, which I did, which is why I'm pairing them together. Of when you look at drastic measures taken by human beings, like if you can have like meaning and heart behind it, you can find justification / like ethical justification. But also just shout out this movie. It's fucking great. It's on Hulu. Watch it.
How to Blow Up a Pipeline.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, you'd love it.
Yeah, you would love it. The little Durden in your brain would be like, yes, Sam, we need more movies like this.
Yeah, we knew this. Why aren't we doing it?
Yeah. Also, barely any white people in this movie, so good balance for Fight Club.
It's a little bit of an antithesis in that sense, like casting-wise, yeah.
Nice. I mean, my rainy day double pairing is stupid. It jumps into my brain, and it's like, no, this is me. Don't even need to think about it. And it's The Big Lebowski.
All right.
Because these are the 2 movies that me and my buddies would like get stoned and watch together. Fight Club and The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
And it's really dumb, but I will sort of stand by it because it's like, oh man, after Fight Club, and you're like, man, I gotta like discover myself and tear down civilization and, really question the underlying principles of civilization, blah, 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 blah. And then it's like, or The Big Lebowski. And it's just like, you just kind of
just do another J.
Meander. You just do another J. And then and that's a really tight script, like as meandering as that film is, it doesn't move like better in an odd kind of way. Yeah, that's my weird rainy day double pairing right there.
I got The Sixth Sense just because it came out at the same time, and it had a twist at the end that kind of threw everybody at the time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Seven. It's another gritty Fincher and Brad Pitt collaboration.
Wow, that sounds like a heavy rainy day.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh, it's pouring. It's cats and dogs.
When Fight Club's your fun one.
Exactly.
I know you haven't seen a ton of Fincher. Have you seen Seven?
That's the only one that I've seen.
Okay.
I'm sorry, but that's the only one.
I was going to warn you that, spoiler alert, it does have a twist ending.
Spoiler alert.
It's related to The Usual Suspects, too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
Because Spacey.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Well, he's not billed. That's a surprise.
Yeah.
God damn it.
We did alert everyone to that spoiler, though.
We did.
Yeah.
No one's come after us, so nobody cares.
Although Fight Club is fun. Like, it's funny, I forget that it could be the funny pairing with a movie like Seven.
Sure. It's got jokes. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
Is it Primal Fear?
Oh, yeah.
Which is a fun Ed Norton double character twist.
Yep.
That could be
we brought that up last episode, too.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Richard Gere.
Richard Gere is horrible.
Yeah, he's pretty terrible.
Not a good actor.
I don't enjoy him in anything.
His
Poor guy. You didn't even say horrible in that film. Just Richard Gere is horrible.
He's bad in that. I've gone back to watch Pretty Woman. I've watched
I've never
a few
seen
other
that
things.
one.
It's bizarre.
And you call yourself a feminist.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a feminist canon movie.
No, it's probably not.
It's time for this movie's cocktail. In honor of Fight Club, we are drinking a gorgeous lemon verbena and butterfly pea flower lemonade. So we have 1.5 ounces of lemon juice, 1.5 ounces of lemon verbena simple syrup, a little kiss of butterfly pea flower, just to give it a lovely, beautiful purple hue.
A little like
And,
this.
everyone needs a little levity in their life. We've got 2 ounces of sparkling water, not lauder. 2 ounces of sparkling water to lift it up a little bit. And because I felt like destroying something beautiful, we have 1.5 ounce shot of 100 proof rye whiskey. Mix up the lemonade together, make a delicious, wonderful drink that can be enjoyed any day of the week, and then ruin it with your toxic masculinity and need to man up by adding the whiskey.
It's really good. I can't detect the whiskey.
Oh yeah, no, it works. Yeah,
So,
I was happy that it didn't ruin it. I was like one of those like, oh yeah, I mean it's basically like a sparkling like whiskey sour basically. So I was like, it can't be terrible.
I think I drank half of the whiskey, so I'm really, really not detecting it in the cocktail. Delightful, baby. Good job.
Yeah.
It's also
this is like you realize we're making a book. And
It's
absolutely
like Jared Leto,
It's pretty.
like
gorgeous.
with Jared Leto, half his face off, he's still prettier than I am.
It'll be
Like,
really
I'm
hard
enjoying
to
this.
shoot those cocktails for the book with all the broken.
Yeah.
That's why you need to subscribe to our Patreon.
Help fund our glassware
forgot that
restoration in the Heney Starzenski household by subscribing to our Patreon.
Yeah, I can't make cocktails for the podcast anymore because I just broke all of our glassware.
Yeah.
They're all going to be served in our eclectic mugs from now on.
That's right.
If you want glass shards, subscribe to.
I don't know. It's very
If
appropriate.
you
for
subscribe
Fight
now, we will send you an entire bag of broken Nick and Nora glasses.
Club. One of which fell directly into Sam's right shoe.
Did.
Yeah.
No.
As always, patreon.com.
Patreon.com/Nostalgia Killers Podcast.
And with
Yeehaw.
that ad, it's time to take an ad break.
Ad break. And we're back with Act 2, The Evidence Board. This film was released on October 15th, 1999. Cost $63 million. Made 37 opening, I think, and then gross like 100.
Yeah, got to $101 million.
$101, yeah.
Yeah.
So it made more than its money back.
The studio, if I'm correct, did not really promote this because they thought it would be like a travesty, and it actually succeeded.
Columbine happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Columbine happened, and they were like, I don't know what
Really?
to fucking do with this.
Yeah.
now.
That was going to be my last nitpick that I didn't quite get to, is that description of the office shooting, which is a little bit uncomfortable.
They almost cut that
Huh.
Yeah.
that little bit.
The only reason they didn't cut it is because from an editing point, there was just no way to make a clean cut.
Well, there's levity right after that because Marla calls about her breast exam.
Yeah,
So
it
it's
goes
like-
directly into that call. And so it's like they didn't have the footage to back that up, basically.
Yeah.
But just like, after Columbine, we maybe don't want to watch movies about like random acts of chaos and
We
violence.
don't want to describe
Sure.
an office worker going
don't
from
wanna do
office
that.
to office with
Yeah.
Marmalade.
Yep. Huh.
Yeah.
Written by Jim Oles, based on the Chuck Palahniuk novel, of course, and directed by David Fincher. Peter Jackson, Danny Boyle, Bryan Singer, and David O. Russell were all tapped to direct, but Fincher was a huge fan of the novel and campaigned heavily for the chance to direct.
Oh, huh.
I believe he tried to buy the rights for the book originally, and then
Before the book was written.
yeah,
Really?
he kind of got the idea. The idea was out there. He saw a treatment and kind of like waited for Palahniuk to finish the book,
Really?
which has its own history. I think Palahniuk had something like 100 different revisions he had to do, like send it to an editor back and forth 100 times.
That's a trip. But it was his first book, right? So how could they have known that
'Cause it
this guy was
really
going to be...
poorly written, bad book.
Huh?
It's like most of us have read it, right?
yeah, all of us, yeah.
Except
Yeah.
for me.
What?
Yeah, I've read so many of this motherfucker's novels that, like, when it came to Fight Club, I was just like, oh, like, I don't need to read that one. I'm going to read all 28 other books.
Yeah.
I saw the movie.
And he said the movie was better. So
Yeah.
like...
He was not a fan of his Fight Club book. Palahniuk.
Hence the 100 revisions.
Yeah, he was just kind of like shoving shit out there, hoping the editor didn't come back at him and say do it over.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean he's kind of like publicly stated he didn't have all the confidence in the world in the book, but he loved the movie.
Huh. Huh. But people were like fighting over it before it was even
Because the treatment was out there.
Huh. That's a trip.
Yeah,
That happens fairly often, though.
it's insane. It's
Yeah.
like it's insane how much of the movies you watch have been prescribed for 10, 20 years before you watch them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of the movies we cover are. What was the one? Confessions of a Dangerous Mind was written and conceived of in the early 80s.
Yeah.
Didn't get made till 2002, 2003. So it's like,
Huh.
yeah, it takes forever to make a film.
Yeah. Huh.
You got any more?
Yeah, I got a lot.
Okay.
Fincher likens the movie to Rebel Without a Cause. He calls it a Jesus Christ, why can't I say anything correctly this episode?
I'm going to edit that one funny.
I know. men coming. Fincher likens the movie to Rebel Without a Cause, calling it a coming-of-age film for men in their 30s.
Huh. For men in their 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all in there now, so
Yeah, there we are. Huh.
Pitt and Norton.
So I wasn't supposed to watch it until right about now.
Exactly.
Okay.
I watched it when I was 19. I got it.
This is your awakening, Sam.
Yeah, I
you're
got
an
something.
enlightened being, Luke. and
Yeah, I got
you're
never buy
not
furniture or
special.
clothing. That's what I got from it. And it shows.
You're looking very nice today, though. So
Yeah. I wore my one collared shirt. Not as nice as Chuck, though.
Love it. Pitt and Norton took different routes to the filming process. Norton slowly lost 20 pounds throughout the production,
oh yeah.
while Pitt upped his workout and tanning regimen heavily throughout. So he's just getting, they're like, he's getting schlubbier, he's getting sexier.
That's what I got too. It was a fairly recent interview, and he was like, we wanted Brad Pitt to look like the idealized man. I just did not sleep, did not eat, like just stopped doing anything and
Edward
started
Norton?
looking like shit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was the baddie has to be bigger and stronger. So that's why that changed. And Norton was just coming off American History X, where he put on a lot of fucking muscle.
Yeah.
So he had to like lose all of it, which hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's not healthy.
I also would like my other one history or trivia thing that I jotted down. It's the Ed Norton hitting Brad Pitt in the ear in the opening fight scene was unscripted, and David Fincher was just like, go hit him And it was a total surprise. So his reaction to like, you hit me in the ear, what the fuck, is actually real. Which is like very easy trivia, but it's still fun. So.
It's very fun.
When I first discovered that, I was like, that's so irresponsible. And then I was like, it's Brad Pitt. He made like $20 million on this movie. Like
17.
Yeah.
Walking in. Norton got 2.
Do you? So he's getting hit in the ear.
Yeah.
So if it's Brad Pitt beating up Edward Norton,
Hit him in
that's
the
not
dick.
cool. Yeah. Yeah, he said to kick you in the balls. I didn't say that, Ed.
Again? Okay.
You know this guy and his takes.
Yeah, he's got to get it right, Brad. Just spread them.
Speaking of Brad Pitt had his teeth professionally chipped and later prepared by his dentist to play Tyler Durden.
Yeah.
Just wild. Just being like, nah, pretty boy, you got to mess up them chappers for daddy. Like,
Yeah.
that's such a crazy concept of like...
Yeah. I always thought it was...
Speaking of like dental things, that's like a Pirates of the Caribbean thing that we didn't touch on. Is Johnny Depp like had the fucking caps like put on his teeth professionally?
Yeah.
I can't imagine having something like that done to me.
What did he do?
You know,
I think he got a gold bridge.
he got a gold
He got-
bridge and a
there's,
couple
like,
of different like.
There's a bunch of gold teeth.
Huh.
And he just left them in because he liked them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or it was so painful to try and have them removed after the first time. He was like, no, I will keep them in for a long time.
Huh.
Until this role fucking dies. Which apparently it's not gonna, because they're still pushing him out.
Because he's got the gold in his mouth, that's why.
I always thought it was funny. Like, you get all the way through this film and they're doing Fight Club, like, ostensibly every week, twice a week. Brad Pitt's got one little chipped tooth, you know? I mean, sick, you know? If you get your teeth chipped for a role, like, that's awesome. That's totally metal. But, like, they would have been so whooped by the end of that movie if they'd been going to Fight Club once a week.
Well, they weren't always fighting.
They weren't always fighting.
He was
Fair enough.
walking around in the shadows.
He's
you know,
walking
towards
among the
end.
crowd. Yeah. Sure, fair enough.
Not
Also,
everybody fought every night.
would Ed Norton and Brad Pitt have to have identical teeth missing?
Oh, yeah. There's a scene where Ed Norton has like a scar on his eyebrow, and it's after he's in the hospital, and Tyler says, you fell down some stairs. I fell down some stairs. They're working on his eyebrow, and I noticed the scar afterwards. I was like, oh, David Fincher.
Yeah.
That's awesome. But I didn't even think to look for it and see if Tyler has it. But then again, would Edward Norton's character think that Tyler has it? Spoiler alert, they're the same person.
That's the first time we said it.
Huh? Oh, fuck. I'm just going to keep coming back to that joke, guys. No matter how unfunny
Lean
it
on it, man.
gets. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's coming around.
I got Polania got the idea of getting beat up, or after getting beat up at a campsite, for complaining to his camping neighbors that their music was too loud. So Polaniak actually took a beating and like got the idea of, you know.
And then when he went into work, nobody talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Nobody addressed the the blood and the scars.
We should have gotten beat up
Yeah.
from our last camping trip.
No, we should have beat up someone who complained about us. Yeah, that's cool.
You're the story makers.
Yeah, my music's too loud, huh?
Oh, our game of... What was it?
Game of Fun Employed.
Fun Employed is too loud.
Or my rendition of that dumb joke that I heard that one time that I repeated over and over again more and more loudly, and I can't remember it anymore.
There you go.
Yeah, I've deserved some ass whoopings while I'm camping. Maybe it would have made me a great novelist.
Yeah.
Oh.
Fincher had to fight the studio tooth and nail to keep the narration in the film.
What?
Yeah. They really didn't want that in there.
Oh, man.
But yeah. Fincher fought so hard because, without it, the movie loses a major piece of its necessary humor.
What would the movie be without that narration?
Studio doesn't care. It's got Brad Pitt and Ed Norton shirtless. That's all they see.
Jesus.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about the story or the
That's crazy.
integrity, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would expect no less
Huh. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's nuts.
from the studio.
Sure.
Fuck
like
those people.
the narration is all philosophy and like anti-consumerist.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Fair enough.
It's like there's too much talking. I forget who it was, Jake Paul or whatever. He's like started watching Oppenheimer and walked out because they're just sitting around talking. It's just people talking.
Sick.
Like, dumb fucker.
Yeah.
Rosie O'Donnell was not a fan of Fight Club. She pleaded her
talk
talk
about
show
spoilers.
viewers. Yeah. Speaking of spoilers, she pleaded her talk show viewers to boycott the film and even spoiled the twist ending on live television to her audience.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Speaking of people not liking this movie, this is the only movie of his that Brad Pitt ever begged his parents not to watch. He was just like, oh, this is like, it's too visceral for mom and dad. Like, they didn't listen, but they never made it past the chemical burn scene. They saw that and were like, oh, Bradley, why?
Really?
It's pretty far.
William Bradley Pitt.
Exactly.
That's near the third
You go to
act.
LA, change your name to Brad.
Bob's fat suit weighed 100 pounds.
100 pounds. Meatloaf, like,
Yeah, Meatloaf's
had
like,
to carry that shit around.
Dude.
Yeah.
Huh.
man, them bitch tits were heavy.
Yo.
I only have 2 more.
Go for it.
Okay, sorry, this is a long one. Aside from, being obviously mentioned in the book and previously in the film, the splices of penises that show up in the movie, especially towards the end, are actually, according to Fincher, a nod to the 1966 Ingmar Bergman film Persona, which, spoiler alert, to a movie that came out in 1966.
Spoiler alert.
Persona is about 2 women with a very similar relationship to Tyler and the narrator.
Oh, it was done already?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Huh.
But he realized it was done already and was just like, oh yeah, well I gotta
Yeah.
so he did certain little things.
Pay
as a nod.
homage.
Pay homage.
Yeah. It's not derivative, it's an homage.
Exactly.
That's right.
And then I got one last one.
I'm not copying your song, it's a sample.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The film inspired several real-life fight clubs around the country, most notably the Gentleman's Fight Club in Menlo Park, California.
Mm-hmm.
And this one is real ugly, as well as several Project Mayhem copycats. Specifically, a gentleman named Luc Helder, who in 2002 was arrested for planting several pipe bombs in random mailboxes.
Chill.
See that?
Yeah.
That to me doesn't fit the vibe of Project Mayhem.
No,
It was
that
never
was-
never about blowing people up. It was
No.
about destroying corporate property.
Yeah.
Even the buildings blowing
wasn't
up at the
about-
end, everyone, they were empty.
Yeah.
So it was,
That's what I'm talking about,
People
the,
took it the wrong fucking way.
This
Yeah.
is definitely on that list of the media literacy movies where you're
Yeah.
like, it's like you gotta certain groups of people gotta watch this movie and you gotta sit them down and be like, what do we think the movie was about?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it's about killing and beating up and blood and done. It's like, no,
Yeah.
it wasn't.
Yeah. It was about being awesome.
Yeah. It's about how Brad Pitt's the coolest dude that ever lived.
Yeah.
I have one.
So that's not what the movie's about?
I have one more, which is about after Marla has sex and flops over, she says, I want to have your abortion. Is that the one that she
That's
says?
the one that got cut, yeah.
That's the one that got cut, yeah.
Is the one that she says in the movie, I haven't been fucked like that since grade school.
Yeah.
I forgot to write that down as a nitpick.
And
There's a
she-
lot of moments that,
She didn't understand it when she was saying it. She didn't understand that grade school was
Oh, really?
early school
'Cause she's
Because
English?
she's English. She didn't
So
understand.
they call it
was-
primary school. So she's like, oh, it's something else.
Oh, grade
Yeah.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was mortified
Mortified
apparently.
afterwards.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was like, oh no.
Huh. She delivers it so nonchalantly.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
perfect.
And that's why, because she
Yeah.
didn't know what she was saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think I like that more than I want to have your abortion because it's funnier,
Oh yeah.
in my opinion.
Well, the circumstances for that too was the studio came in and say you have to change this line.
You can't
I don't-
say
and-
abortion.
Yeah, and Fincher was like, okay, but whatever I change it to, that's what it stays as, no matter what it is, which is a dumb fucking deal to make
Yeah.
on the studio's part.
Kind of asking for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the best part is
They
they
were
wanted to go back to the
definitely
abortion line after that. They were like, whoa, what if we went back to the abortion thing? And he's like, nah,
This
this is
is
way
better.
funnier. This is
Nope.
way better.
That's it.
Huh.
I have a couple more. In the near life experience crash, the editor for the film, I forget which one. It may have been an assistant editor, but he pointed out to Fincher that Tyler Durden crawls out of the wrong side of the car,
Mm-hmm.
and Fincher had to tell him that was on purpose
Oh.
because they were switching roles.
Oh.
So like when he gets out of the driver's side, the driver's side or the passenger side,
Passenger side.
and pulls Norton out of the driver's side of the car. The editor was like, "Hey, this is wrong. You need to reshoot this."
That's part of it,
Mm-hmm.
bro.
That's so cool. Little details like that.
Yeah.
Like that's awesome.
I just learned this one on this run through, but the breath that you see in the cave are reused effects from Titanic.
Yeah.
That's all I got for
Yeah.
trivia and stuff.
I got some alt casting.
There's a
Russell
ton.
Crowe
What a different movie.
I know.
What a
Russell
different
Crowe
movie.
was the studio's first choice for Tyler
You
Durden.
mean Romper Stomper?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Yeah, Russell
Yeah.
Crowe, yeah.
No?
Which, I mean, seeing Romper Stomper, I get
He
it.
would have ruined it, though, because in the beginning he would have been like, my name is Tyler Durden. I am blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait, Russell, are you going to get it? And, no, I only say my full name in movies immediately.
When do
and
we
all the
get to
time.
say testicle?
I think that would have been a really interesting pick. I realized that I was about to go on this podcast with all these people who know a lot about movies and that I don't know a lot about movies. And I was like, I know, I'm going to read the book. And I think that Tyler Durden in the book is like, I don't think he's as charming. I don't know if that's, so to have Russell Crowe is at first I was like, that would have been so dumb. I'm so glad that didn't happen.
Right.
But then the more that I've thought about it, I'm like, actually, I don't know. Russell Crowe is this sort of like magnetic, quiet, you got to get him to be magnetic though. I don't know, I don't know.
I
Would have
think
been more brutish, not as sexy, I think.
More brutish, not as sexy. Exactly.
I'm gonna speak. I feel like Taylor Diffender first right here. In the microphone. I think he is very magnetic, and also I think that when you say Russell Crowe now, we have a very different picture of Russell Crowe
my
than
gosh,
he
yeah.
was in
99.
99.
He was magnetic.
He was taut, like a taut little magnetic
It would have
Aussie. Yeah.
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 And he probably, I think, definitely very different from Brad Pitt, but not horrific in like a way that, like, if we put Russell Crowe from now into.
Oh, yeah, no, there's no way.
It would have been like if Tyler Durden had been a grown ass man instead of a teenager. Like
Yeah.
Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden is kind of a teenager and he's kind of awesome.
He's
in that
like
way.
a frat boy, basically.
He's like a
Yeah.
frat boy kind of, but like Russell Crowe's Tyler Durden, I don't know.
More
I don't know.
adult, for sure.
Yeah.
Matt Damon and Sean Penn were
No and
considered
no
for
on
the
the-
narrator.
On the other hand, no and no.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, neither are like, not to diss Norton too much, but like neither are as meek as Norton in this. Like they don't have the range either.
No.
I could see Matt Damon.
Sean Penn, absolutely not though.
Too
old.
old.
Too old by
Yeah.
this time, yeah. Fucking Spicoli.
Yeah.
This would have changed the entire trajectory of Matt Damon's career.
Oh, yeah.
Also, completely different after this.
Janine Garofalo, Courtney Love, Winona Ryder, and Reese Witherspoon were all considered to play Marla.
I could see Winona.
Yeah.
Did
I
you
could see-
mention Julia Louis-Dreyfus?
No, was she?
I would, yes, and I would have been into that.
Oh my
I
God,
don't know.
Elaine as Marla?
I
The
don't know.
Elaine dance.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might have been interesting.
Ugh.
I don't think she could go dark enough.
No, I
Oh,
don't
you
think
don't
she has
think?
the emotional
No.
range.
I don't know.
And the way that
I've
the
never
public
seen-
perceives her, too, is
Yeah.
too comedic.
Sure. Yeah.
I think Helena Bonham Carter is so perfect.
Helena Bonham Carter is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say that she wasn't. No.
I'm glad you
Louis-Dreyfus.
clarified.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I don't know.
Well, now I've got some editing to do, so I'll put Julia in the movie and we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just going to be bad Seinfeld bits.
Yeah, exactly. Just bad. Yeah.
Edited into Marla scenes.
Also, I got to admit, like, I love both of these people. I love Julia Louis-Dreyfus. I've never met her. Spoiler alert. Never met her. But I love her. And Helena Bonham Carter. I fell in love with Helena Bonham Carter watching this movie. So I don't know. In my brain, I'm like, oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus, my favorite, like, crushes that I've never met, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say this, and this is like a light hot take. Julia Louis-Dreyfus seems like a fucking asshole in old age.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Never
Every
met her.
Exactly.
And moving on.
I don't know.
in like interviews that I've seen with her, she just seems like
I always thought about that, about all of them on
uptight
Seinfeld.
and
Yeah, huh.
curmudgeony and just like a little like stick up her own assy, and it was like really I think it was maybe Hot Ones or some talk show interview, and I was just like watching her and I was like, man, this is like kind of disheartening to see, because this is not who I perceive you as an actor that I've enjoyed for 20 years.
I perceived all of them on Seinfeld as kind of stuck up and spoiled
I could see
because
that.
they had so much success on that show.
Sure.
they never really had to fight for their careers.
Yeah.
And then, there's kind of, Seinfeld's a total asshole.
Oh, yeah.
He's the worst.
Watching him.
He's miserable.
Also, fucking pedophile.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What?
What was
man.
it? Was she 17, 16?
Dude, talking about nostalgia killers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she was like 16, maybe 17 when they started
So,
like
40-year-old
publicly dating.
40-year-old Jerry
And then
was,
they got, so
They're
super
still
fun.
married. But
Yep. Good for them.
Fair enough.
good for him. Maybe not so her. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, she got
She
that
needs a rescue.
B-movie money coming in.
What's the deal with age of consent laws?
What is the deal?
Yeah.
Apparently in New York, they're a little bit loose.
Oh, I was waiting for you to tell me he was on the, Epstein Island.
No, it's just a really awkward
dating children. That's cool.
teenager relationship in your 40s.
Yeah.
On to greener pastures, we've got the usual suspects.
Next.
Actors and crew from previously reviewed films with suspicious connections.
How many you got?
I got 3, but one of them is like a
Okay.
just a heads up.
I only have the obvious ones. So.
I don't participate in this.
Yeah, that's
I know,
fine.
it's fine.
We
I'm
don't
sorry.
expect you to.
I would participate, but I'm not prepared to do so.
That's
I'm
okay.
Sorry, guys.
Well, you're fired.
I'll go. Oh, all right. I'll just be like
will
really impressed with all the
say
ones you
that-
guys throw out. What you got?
I did not prepare for this.
It's all
I
set.
will not
You
participate.
wrote stuff
Also, it
down. I
was
saw
Lauren
it.
cracking the beer. I would have prepared for this, but I'm just gonna go grab a beer.
I will say that I made a Venn diagram that I'm happy to share later in the podcast or
Right on.
in the after.
So I have Edward Norton was in Smoochie. That's just what we just did. We just did Death of Smoochie.
Have you seen that?
That was a lot. It just went out today. Sorry.
Oh, just went out to. Oh, okay.
I just finished it this morning.
He's like, I'm an avid fan. I haven't listened to it yet.
You guys only release it on Mondays. I'm calling bullshit.
I'm so sorry it's late.
Well, that's an easy one. I would have gotten that one.
yeah, exactly.
Damn it.
Then Brad Pitt was in Confessions of a Dangerous Mind for a very small moment. I have a second degree with Ed Norton and Danny DeVito in Big Fish.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
Danny DeVito's in Death of Smoochie as well. And then another second degree with Brad Pitt with an Interview with the Vampire with Tom Cruise, who was in Mission Impossible, which we've done.
Was he?
He was.
I did just the 3 principals basically. So I've got Ed Norton, also with we touched on it last episode, so I don't have to say it again. But with Willem Dafoe in Grand Budapest Hotel, and Willem Dafoe was in Boondock Saints.
Yep.
For Brad Pitt,
I'm trying to forget Boondock Saints so much. I don't even look at
I
that
know
movie.
it's a bad movie. Brad Pitt was also in Happy Feet 2 with Robin Williams, who was in Death to Smoochie. And then this was
You
my
had to reach for that one.
yeah,
Man.
this was my breath right here. Helena Bonham Carter. Helena Bonham Carter.
who?
What?
A Bonham.
Hella Bonham. Miss Carter was in The Lone Ranger, Alice in Wonderland, Sweeney Todd, The Corpse Bride, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory,
Yeah.
all with Jonathan Depp of Pirates of the Caribbean fame.
Yeah.
She was also in a series of unfortunate events with Jim Carrey of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Nice.
There you go.
Wow. Look at you.
Nice, man.
Very good.
But I just want to talk about a new section where we say thank you to our executive producer. In the future, there will be more, but right now we have Addie Martinez.
Addie Martinez.
Addie Martinez, the best.
Thank you, Addie.
We
Thank
love
you.
you, Addie.
We love you, Addie. Also, didn't get a chance to tell you yesterday. Beautiful speech for your beautiful brother. I was there at Javier Martinez's wedding, and
Just making it personal. All right.
exactly.
You looked great.
Yeah.
And you still do in your suit.
Oh no, I think Lauren was saying
not,
Addie
not,
looked great.
Yeah.
Addie is.
Not okay. Yeah.
Sorry, Addie. My bad.
And with that awkwardness, we'll go on to our second ad break.
Yay!
Well, like we talked about, the studio didn't market it well, and they tried to market it as a gritty boxing movie.
Which it is absolutely not.
No.
No.
I think when I watched it as a young teenager, I was incapable of fully understanding the whole satirical meaning because I was a child.
Sure.
But growing older, I still do love this movie for a lot of different reasons, and conflicted by the way that it is perceived, I guess, is what I'll say. And when I was talking to Chuck about this, he was like, the main crux of the movie is like the destruction of capitalism and this and that. And I agree that is kind of the main focal point of like Project Mayhem and all of this. Oh shit.
It's all good.
Touch the cord.
We're not back yet.
Yeah.
Oh, we're not. This is gold. This is great.
I was gonna say-
recording.
I'm just
Yeah.
teasing.
But
I'm just
we'll put
teasing.
this in somewhere.
And also, I want to not to cut you off.
No, please let me finish
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thought. But I think there inherently in this movie, like masculinity and emasculization is that a word?
Emasculate.
Emasculization is a huge theme of it. Like it's talked about constantly.
Yeah.
The whole thing of him being in the testicular cancer like group, like men like being men without having like what it means to be a man.
And they all cry together.
They all cry together and this and that, and that's actually what he is seeking is like the release of societal tension of what it means to be a man. So that gets talked about like again and again and again, and then like when we were talking about it too, the relationship between the narrator and Tyler Durden is almost more of a love story if you look at it in a certain way. He is jealous, not necessarily that he's fucking Marla, but that Marla is fucking him. There's a possessiveness and like, what do you mean that you like when he finds out the other clubs are started or that he's made decisions without him? Like this is
jealousy.
He's invested in the relationship with Tyler more than anything else. So the masculine self-involvement and self-love is like the crux of the movie, in my opinion. And so
When you say self-involvement and self-love, meaning like the narrator's relationship to Tyler Durden,
Yeah.
like he's in love and involved with what it turns out is, spoiler alert, just
himself.
a version of himself.
Yeah. So in my mind, this is a really interesting and fun exploration of masculinity, toxic, non-toxic, all of it combined together. And if you look at it critically, it's just the most fun, well-executed satire of masculinity that I think I've ever seen, probably. And that's why I like it and why I'm a good feminist. Fuck you.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Woo, Lauren Heney, everyone.
I have a hot take that's gonna blow all of you through your rubber underpants.
Oh,
Also,
I have a hot cake that's going to do the same.
what I was going to say too,
Ew.
but when I wasn't necessarily trying to cut off my wife was, do we want to edit what she just said into the hot take section or slash like bigger picture section, or do we want to just
I'll just add that to the post show, like,
Okay.
and maybe even advertise with that.
Okay.
Because this is I love that you're here.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Not just because I love talking to you, but like having your perspective on this movie is fucking huge. So
I think it's good for everybody.
yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I am happy to be here also because I do really fucking love this movie.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I really like this movie so much. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. But that was like the big thing that I wanted, I guess, to say about it and about my experience, like living with it for 10, almost 15. Almost 15 years now, and like as an evolving woman with my like experience of the world and also like society's perception of this and my understanding, things change, but my love for David Fincher is undying.
Right on. I think that's exactly why we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Like this is what it's about.
Things change, but some things
Do we want to be back
stay
to
the same.
saying?
I'll announce it.
Oh, okay, cool.
What was your hot?
And we're back.
No.
Hot takes are coming up. That's on the
Yeah.
awards list.
Gotcha. Okay.
We'll get there.
Gotcha. Okay.
And we're back with Act 3, the award categories. We're starting off with my new band name.
I refuse to participate in this category.
I will participate for Lauren.
Out of protest.
Can I go first?
Sure.
Of course.
Because
Yeah.
my
Please,
new
anything to
band
cut
name-
Chuck off.
I know that Lauren likes it when you just pick one. So here's my new band name. The first soap was made from the ashes of heroes, like the first monkey shot into space. Without pain, without sacrifice, we would have nothing. This is your pain. This is your burning hand. It's right here. Don't deal with it the way those dead people do. What you're feeling is premature enlightenment. This is the greatest moment of your life, and you're off somewhere missing it. Our fathers were our models for God. If our fathers bailed, what does that tell you about God? Listen to me. Consider the probability that God does not like you. In all probability, he hates you. It's not the worst thing that could happen. We don't need him. Fuck damnation. Fuck redemption. We are God's unwanted children. So be it.
I'm glad because you took up half of Chuck's band names right there.
Boom.
What genre would that band be?
Dude, it's the only genre that I listen to, and it's just...
Podcasts.
It's exactly what it is. It's podcast.
It's funny.
It's NPR.
It's talk radio. That's the genre.
The funny part is I wrote down a bunch of monologues too.
You know, the first one that came to my mind was Space Monkey. The
Yeah.
first one that came, and then I was like, oh, and my ears perked up when I watched the movie. I was like, oh, Space Monkey. And then I was like, wait, all of the band names in this movie are in this one scene where Edward Norton's getting his hand burned with lye and Tyler Durden is fucking yelling at him.
All right, go off.
Okay. Well, really quick. Just on that note, as she, side-eyes me and
Tunes out.
and drinks her beer. On that note, when Lauren was working at the soap making factory, I thought it was funny. She did not. I constantly called her Tyler Durden, and she'd come home from work, and she would be like, "Oh man, like what a day!" And then be like, "Let me guess, you're tired, you're dirty, you're exhausted. I know this because Lauren knows this." And that joke never got old for me, but it got very old for my wife.
I also have to say it was very good soap that I was making.
I bet it was.
It was.
And I
got
hated-
very spoiled.
I hated that company so much.
But hey, we're not going to name them in case they want to sponsor the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, for my band names, I have cut it down to 3. I can cut it down to 2 or 1. It's,
3's an acceptable
I
number.
think 3 is acceptable.
I think you should let Luke go first.
I will.
I just have I Am Jack's Lack of Talent. And it's a bar band that only plays Bad Skinner covers.
I fucking love that.
That's all I got.
When does that come up? Is that in the movie?
No,
Jack's Lack
I
of
just made
Talent.
one up. It's,
Oh, right
that's,
on.
that's part of the thing. Is
Sick.
just make up a band name.
Oh, cool.
Out of-
So it didn't have to be directly from the movie.
No, it was just
an
I
entire
am
scene.
Jack's Seething Rage.
Nice.
I could have picked any one of those, but
I like that.
made one up. So I Am Jack's Lack of Talent.
Mm-hmm.
All right, drum roll,
All
please.
I've got Single Serving Friend. They're a bedroom pop band. Because, that's what it's a one-man band sort
Did
of
you make that
scenario.
up?
I've got The Grade School Get Down.
Oh, Jesus.
They're a 4th grade school band, like a school jazz band. And yeah, obviously the quote is, haven't been fucked like that since grade school. And my favorite one is Dildo Article. They're a spoken word indie rock band. And the direct quote is, it's honestly one of my favorite scenes, is when he
The airport?
gets pulled off the plane, at the airport. And it's, the article we use must always be a dildo, never your dildo.
We have to use the indefinite article.
Exactly.
A dildo.
A dildo.
I thought you meant the
The
dildo in
dildo.
Marla's apartment.
No, I do love that, though. I love that, like, he sees it and she's just instantly like, oh, don't worry about him.
Yeah, it's not a threat to you.
Not a threat to you. He's harmless.
I got some runners up, just some quotes that I really like. Sticking feathers up your butt does not make you a chicken.
Yeah.
That's one I remember saying a lot.
This movie's so fucking good. Like, it's
There's a
just,
lot.
Yeah,
There's a
It's
lot
very
in it.
quotable.
It's only after we've lost everything we're free to do anything.
Sick. Dude, I'm listening to that band right now.
And then kind of along with Sam had, it's reject the basic assumption of civilization, especially the importance of material possession.
That band. Sorry. Sorry, say it again.
No, it's all good. It's gone. It's over.
Psalm in 81, dude, they fucking...
Updated movie title. Or sorry, what?
I wanted to see that sick ass band that you had.
I don't want to wait to listen to this thing.
Yeah, I want to know what the basic
Podcast is over.
assumption is that I'm. Updated movie title. Make
Fight Club is
America hard
perfect.
again.
Make America hard again.
Sorry, that was
I
not
put
fun.
down jokingly edgelords,
Yeah.
even though I didn't experience any of the edgelordiness. It's like I didn't get the cultural impact of the movie. I didn't share it with anybody, I guess. Just, I don't know.
I think
It's
you
weird.
had your own cultural experience with it, which is much more healthy and valid.
I think so
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. I knew about all the pop up, the media blaming fight clubs popping up and stuff, but it didn't make sense to me that it was. I don't know.
I love the way that we do that with art. It's like, I don't know.
Wait, people are affected by this? It must be a problem.
Yeah, must be. Yeah. And like video games, which like are a form of artwork, you know, as much as I'm like a theater person and I think that, you know, but like video games are artwork all the way, you know,
Yeah.
and sure they can be violent and sure they can be, it's like, it's funny how we like anything that's provocative, we like lay it at the feet of artwork, you know, because good thing we've never like found new lands and had Christopher Columbus chop off everybody's fucking hands if they didn't bring them gold. You know, like we never laid at the feet of colonialism and capitalism and all that bullshit. We laid it at the feet of artwork and we say like, why did art make us feel and think that way? Oh gosh. Art, I can't stand it. Bring me Christopher Columbus having a nice Thanksgiving dinner. Oh, it's fucking bullshit.
It's also insane to me that
Like, people didn't start fight clubs because of this fucking movie. They started because they're assholes or because they're sick and they're me in high school. Sorry about that.
no. I mean, I feel like this has maybe died down slightly in recent years, but I remember all through like childhood that violence in the media is corrupting the youth is like a huge narrative, and this was obviously one of the things that was like part of it.
It's low hanging fruit.
Absolutely. And the thing is that violence is inherently human, and that portraying it on screen is not going to make anybody more violent, I don't think, unless that tendency is in them already and they see it represented and portrayed as something that is validated.
Glorified.
And so if the way that you perceive this movie is glorifying violence or validating violence for whatever reason that you choose to assign it, then that's your justification. And I think that that's one of the reasons that like this movie has a stigma about it.
Also, it's hard not to feel that something is being glorified when it's Brad Pitt doing it. Like,
They look
Fucking
they look
abs
pretty.
shining
Yeah.
with like a
dude,
shiner.
honestly, like I can't think about nostalgia without thinking about Brad Pitt's abs. Those glistening, chiseled, entirely linear cum gutters. Like,
I'm glad
Well, that's your band
someone
name
else
right
said it.
there. Linear cum gutter.
Chiseled cum gutter.
like,
Glistening
and
lineal.
that's part of my thing of like, I'm sure like Russell Crowe's got some sick cum gutters too, you know, but like
Maybe at the time.
If Russell Crowe is Tyler Durden, maybe I don't spend the entirety of my 20s not doing a fucking thing with my life. But like the glorification of this lifestyle.
Are you blaming this movie for your
I-
complete
for me
and
being-
utter lack of self-motivation?
I am. Honestly, I need something to blame besides my own psychological blah, blah, blah. And
God
like,
damn.
if I can lay it at the feet of this piece of art, I'm definitely going to take it out on Fight Club, you know, like, because nobody else is allowed to do it, but I can be like, no, Fight Club's the problem with the world.
But also, I'd like to point out that a lot of, like, when I was, like, briefly poking around on the internet, was, like, a lot of Christian organizations or religious organizations were adopting ideology and starting fight clubs. And it's just, like, you can lay your personal ideology upon anything for justification for violence.
Sure.
You really can, with the correct mindset. am not pointing fingers here, but it generally tends to be men.
No, you can point. No, go for it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anybody at this table, but
But it does tend to be men.
I mean,
It wasn't Christina Columbus who cut off everybody's fucking hands. It was Christopher, you know? Yeah.
you don't know
we're violent.
how they identified. Okay,
Yeah. We are violent.
it is interesting.
Yeah, for a movie title, I just had Hit Me. Because Fight Club is perfect, but the only other thing I could think of that was like punchy like that is Hit Me, in reference to I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Mm-hmm.
The Roger Deakins Would Be Proud Award for cinematography.
Also, this episode is going to devolve into just like Lauren and I Greco-Roman wrestling. Ah! Fight Club. Sorry. The Roger Deakins.
Interrupt me one more time, Sam. No.
Off the balcony he goes.
There's a lot. I mean,
It's beautifully shot.
It's Fincher,
Yeah.
so there's like hard to find a fault.
Mm.
Did anybody have a favorite cinematographic shot or?
I mean, I feel like Lauren already touched on a lot. Yeah, the IKEA magazine becoming his apartment. It's like one of my favorite bits in the whole film. The slow-mo push in on Marla when she's first lighting the cigarette in, Cancer Victims Anonymous kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
The match cut push from the narrator, kind of very sluggishly, like removing the gun from his mouth. And then we just go like, he gets pushed from the chair right into Bob's bosom.
Yeah,
That
that
intro
opening
shot.
shot is awesome.
That's very Fincher.
Mm-hmm. And then my last one is just, the beauty of the framing and everything in the final shot of the narrator and Marla holding hands as they watch, civilization fall apart.
I noticed a bunch of leading lines in, especially during the when the narrator is actually doing his job. He's out in the field.
Mm-hmm.
There's always, especially like I think it's the early one, but he visits the car on the side of the road, and you see this long line of streetlights.
Mm-hmm.
It's all open fields and stuff. I don't know where they filmed it, but it goes on forever.
Nebraska.
And I don't know. But it was a pretty amazing shot that I noticed for the first time watching it yesterday. So,
what do you mean leading lines?
so when you're framing a shot, a lot of times in order to add depth, you'll have a line, like if you're going to look down the edge of the countertop, the countertop going off into the distance adds depth to the scene.
Sure.
Yeah, if you watch it again, I mean, I could point out up like everything, and show you it just in this movie, but like. I
probably would miss, even if you were describing it like, there it is, Sam. I'd be like,
I mean, I didn't notice it because I was paying until yesterday because I was paying attention to this kind of thing. But yeah, I noticed that Fincher uses a lot of leading lines in order to add depth to all of his shots.
Mm-hmm.
Dude,
it's not just focus difference.
Sure.
It's not just lighting difference. It's leading lines, especially in like the airport.
And you don't just focus on a foreground or a like whatever the opposite of foreground is, but you like suggest one via the other.
Sure. Well, it's just a line going off into the horizon. Off in the distance.
A vanishing point, if you will.
A vanishing point. Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, there's a lot of them in this. It's really good.
Yeah, I think with Fincher, the shots are beautiful in their precision, but for me, the editing is key, and that's where the humor in the film comes out to me a lot. Is these match cuts, flash cuts. And I don't know if I can pinpoint an exact moment. I don't think I picked one out, but I'm trying to think now on my feet. No, nothing's coming to me. I think all of his movies are so beautifully composed, really.
You really can't find a fault.
It's really hard to like look at any specific shot and be like, oh, that's not as good, because they are all good and they are all well done. Like, when they sabotage the corporate art and the ball rolls down, I was watching like a little YouTube like featurette thing, and they were like, this is what they wanted, and they're like, in order for the ball to roll the way we wanted it to, it would have weighed like a couple tons, and so they redid it like so many times. They ended up using like a little CGI to like make it look. And then when it crashes into the like it's not a Starbucks, but a Starbucks.
There's a 40-minute featurette of behind the scenes of Fincher going around explaining the shots before they get to the day.
Yeah, it's
and
really
and
fun.
And then the ball one too is great. Yeah.
Whoa.
The ball is also like this completely like a giant basketball. Like it can be lifted by 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
It's not an actual brass thing because they would have destroyed the actual
The architecture.
the mall they actually used.
Oh, like it would have knocked the whole building over.
Oh, it would have damaged
like
the cement or the stairs. It rolled
Like
down.
the steps.
That's a trip.
rolling.
I
And then
think
it was-
back to that shot and think like the eerie way that ball.
Yeah,
rolled.
it's weird. It's for a reason. Yeah.
What a great little detail.
Yeah.
Gosh. Huh.
But yeah, I think in the Fincher movies, it's hard to just pinpoint one shot because.
You mentioned earlier the word kinetic regarding David Fincher's films and television. I watched Mindhunters. I watched a couple episodes of Mindhunters. I'm sorry. I felt with the camera movement, with the incessant fucking movement of the camera, I felt at first subconscious, ooh, Freudian slip, self-conscious, and then I just felt fucking vertiginous, and it was like, hey, bro, can you hold the fucking camera still so that I can pay attention to what's happening in front of the camera? Heaven forbid we should ever pay attention to what's actually happening in front of the camera. I stopped watching that show. I'm sorry, y'all. I think it was good, but I stopped watching it. And with this one, I noticed a lot of really kinetic stuff. Like there's a shot where you're looking at Angel face and he's just had his face beaten in and the camera flips upside down and you see the guys going up the stairs. There's a shot where the detective calls and he's asking about the arson, blah, 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 blah. It looks like somebody might have sprayed the lock with a coolant and then chiseled, blah, 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 blah. And then it like pans over so fast that you kind of lose track of where you are and all you see is Tyler Durden's feet going up the stairs. Like these kind of manic, kinetic, frenzied shots, which are really cool. But I think my favorite
I would say
one,
that's the point, and you should give Mindhunter another chance because it's a really fucking good show.
I will. But I just like had enough of it. I was like, all right, if you can't like, I'm an old man and I need to just like know what I'm looking at. Stop moving the camera. Like when did they invent moving cameras? Whose idea was this? But my one really cool moment that I noticed is, when Edward Norton calls Tyler Durden on the payphone and Tyler Durden does not pick up. And the camera, zoom, is like doing this really slow pan in one direction. And then the phone rings and it stops. And he picks up and it really slowly pans back. Pans? You say this? Do you say this in the cinema?
Tracks. Yeah.
Tracks. You say this, yes. It tracks back in the other direction, which like is such a cool moment. And it's like, whoa, like that's the moment where this guy starts to really lose his fucking marbles because spoiler alert, they're the same person. He's calling himself on the phone.
Do you
love
notice on the
that
phone
moment.
it says that this phone does not accept outside calls?
Yeah. And there's all kinds of little details like that where it's like Tyler doesn't exist. Like
When you watch that featurette, like that phone booth also doesn't exist. It's a prop that's set up in front of the building.
Huh?
It's so fake.
Wow.
It's
Really?
It's
It's kind of meta.
yeah, it's so switchy.
Meta. That's a big word. It's a small word for a big idea. But there's all kinds of little details like that. Like this phone booth does not accept return calls. Like when
He's star 69 from a from a touch or a rotary, which you can't do.
When they walk into the bar and like there's actually this one's all throughout the film where people address the narrator but not Tyler.
Yeah.
People bump into the narrator but not Tyler. People say,
Long-term parking,
"Excuse
Mr.
me."
Durden.
Long-term park. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Little details like that and the fucking
My hot takes
Ball.
gonna blow your fucking mind.
oh man, dude. Let's get to this take.
All right, let's move along then. In that case, we've got, is that Channing Tatum in a dog collar?
Fuck, I thought we were gonna do hot takes.
Oh no, you gotta pay to play.
All right.
Actors with unexpected cameos or bit parts. I got low-hanging fruit.
Fucking
I'd do
Jared
anything
Leto.
for love.
Oh, you went Meatloaf.
Meatloaf.
Hell yeah.
Jared Leto.
Yeah, I went Dr. Michael Morbius. I went Jared Leto as Angel Face.
Have you seen that meme where it's just these letterbox reviews of movies that Jared Leto gets the shit kicked out of him? And it's like 5 stars. Jared Leto fucking gets the shit kicked out of him.
Jared Leto gets rocked, 5 stars.
Yeah. And it's like 5 movies. And honestly, I enjoyed him in this performance because he doesn't speak and gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with Paul Dillon, who's Irvin.
Yeah.
Uncredited.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
But like, I was a child when I watched this, and so I was like, oh, that's Patty O'Brien from Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Paul
He's in a bunch of movies.
Dillon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been working. I looked him up.
Yep,
I was like,
same.
oh, that's
Still
my
working.
that's my Channing Tatum and a dog collar.
Yeah.
And man, they stay busy. You know, you look these people up on IMDb, and it's like, oh, they're like no joke.
Not a year missing.
People that I think are like, oh, look at this guy. He was just in one stupid movie. But like, dude.
No.
Yeah. I don't think does he even have any lines in this movie?
Mm-hmm.
Does he?
He's got a few. Gotta go home.
Yeah.
Shutting down the bar.
yeah. But for me, yeah. Paul
He's
Dillon.
a great character actor.
Yeah.
I got as a runner-up, I got Going Out West by Tom Waits. Just the song.
Just the song.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I love that song.
Right
and
on.
Tom Waits is is
I would
represented in the film. So.
really like to just interject with a fun fact that Chuck and I were honored to host one of Sam's birthday parties, which consisted of us listening to an entire Tom Waits album,
Rain Dogs.
Rain Dogs.
Rain
Nice.
Dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a pajama party. Bathrobes were requested, and then we watched.
And it was implied that you should dance to the entire album.
Yes.
But most people didn't dance to the entire album.
I danced to most of it.
It's not a short album.
I think we played it more than once, also. So
fair enough.
there was some leeway, and then
And I was like, listen, you fucking sons of bitches.
after that, we watched The Big Lebowski, and we made White Russians per Sam's request for
I think
this
we were drinking White Russians
while dancing.
throughout the eternity of the album. Yeah.
And it was Bathrobes.
And
Yeah.
I did
The
say
dance party,
eternity
yeah.
on purpose, not entirety. Because as Lauren said, it's a long fucking album. We listened
Yeah,
to
there's like
twice.
17 songs on there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
Some of the longer
antagonistic
ones.
about that. Yeah, I was rude. But it was my birthday.
Yeah.
And my birthday's in March, so like I should just get extra rations of birthday because March sucks.
Hey,
It
I got a
does.
November
It
birthday.
does.
November,
No, yeah.
that
What's your
competes
birthday?
March 13th.
with March.
March
I'm in
13th.
March too.
March 13th. You and Max Transu. Max, I know you're not listening, buddy.
When yours is
March 6th,
6th.
which is great because that means 1 week before I'm going to remember, I got to call Luke on his birthday.
I actually have like 4 people up here that have the same birthday.
Really?
So we all have
Max?
the same. No,
Huh.
but yeah.
I've got 4, and then I've got so many around my birthday. It's so nice. I mean, Sam witnessed it. The taking down of the decorations was today.
I remember it was here last time I was here.
Yeah, I celebrate a birthday month
Right on.
in its entirety, and it's
You
not.
even took a day off September this time, day or two.
It's not that I like love myself so much. It's just it's nice to have something to hang out and celebrate about, and like why not?
Why not it be me?
Why not it be me? I'm lovely. Everybody loves me.
Oh. Oh, it's a sailboat award. Yeah, this movie's got a ton of bigger themes and messages. That's kind of the whole point of the novel and the film. Yeah. Y'all want to just round robin some points off real quick?
It's kind of a hard one because like
I
most stories have themes within them. This is like a theme wrapped in a story.
Yeah.
Like
This is like, here's the pill. Let me just lightly put a piece of cheese around it.
yeah.
This is why it is a good movie, because it has
Hell yeah.
multiple layers of interpretation that if you actually watch it and critically think about it, it is so fulfilling. And the more that you watch it, the more those layers of like importance sink in and layer on top of each other. And like, this is theme building to meaning. And that's why it's a fucking good movie.
Nice. It's an excellent explanation.
Yeah.
Lauren
Thank
Heney,
you.
everyone.
Lauren Heney!
Dude, I have this. I took notes while I watched it.
Please show the camera.
Oh yeah. Well, this is like fucking some super Tyler Durden shit. Because I don't like to write against the grain, so instead of flipping it over and writing like that, I turn it upside down. So when I look at my notes, I feel like I've lost my fucking mind. I turn the page and then it's over here, so I turn it upside down.
Whoa.
Yeah. I got a lot of notes.
I've never seen that before.
I've never seen that either.
Really?
Congratulations.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like I can write, if there weren't lines on this, I would write like 6 million words per page, like a serial killer.
Yeah.
So the themes that I wrote down.
Creating 7 books, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So the themes, some of the themes that mostly what I was doing was like at a fevered pitch, writing down themes as the film just like barrels along. And so I wrote down
Crying.
I wrote down
Crying.
so much
Start with that
fucking
one.
shit. Well, emasculation, that's a huge one. The guys meeting in the testicular cancer group, they're all crying. Then this guy's like fallen prey to the nesting instinct, which I think is a feminine instinct.
It is.
I'm like hesitant to define masculine and feminine in such stark terms. But I think a huge thing within this film is this guy who's lost track of his own masculinity. And when you lose track, like if you don't believe in anything, you'll fall for anything. If you don't believe in your own masculinity, you'll buy any kind of masculinity.
I think for the purposes of talking about this movie, we're talking thematically and about societal themes. So it's okay to just generalize here when talking about like, this is how it's portrayed. This is not how we personally generally see the world.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Nesting and his desire to collect things that make him feel more as a person.
Yeah.
That's something that's generally assigned to women because we are traditionally the homemakers and assigned to take care of the home, make it look presentable, this is our domain and what we have control over. So this is where we're so fucked up. Where women are allowed to spend money is on the home because this is the domain that we're allowed to. So like buying new furniture, decorating the home, those are the things that are not a source of guilt for spending any money that a male might bring in. In terms of like if you had a traditional relationship where a woman was a housewife and a man was a breadwinner.
Yeah.
So definitely like a feminine, quote unquote, feminine urge to decorate and make yourself feel comfortable in your space.
And so you might say that like this central character is reacting to being over feminized, or you might say that this character is reacting to not having a feminine impulse within his life, and he has to be his own feminine impulse, and he has to find his own outlet for crying and nesting. And this only just occurs to me, and maybe that's not the point of the film, because I think,
I would say that it's normalized in this particular instance for him to have the feminine urge to nest, and that makes him less of a man, perhaps in the beginning of the film.
I have a slightly different take. In the absence of a masculine direction in life, as in like war or family making, our society fills it in with consumerism. And the nesting thing, in the way I saw it, was nothing more than filling that void
with stuff.
Yeah. Which is what, I mean, I related to big time. Everyone from the 80s on was programmed to just buy shit. That'll make you happy. Buy more stuff. Buy the new thing.
Yeah. And then it's like, it's that classic thing of like, oh, it's like it's being a lost person and not having direction, not having purpose and whatnot. And you're just like, oh, well, it's like, I don't know who I am. Instead of developing a personality, I'm going to buy a ton of things. Like, I'm going to like nerd culture is like one of the most like, disgusting kind of cesspit sort of things with that, where it's like, oh, it's, as opposed to developing who I am, it's like, no, like I'm going to put a ton of money into like fucking Funko Pops and like posters and like, all this kind of stuff of like the pop culture and, kind of fun calling the kettle black here on a fucking pop culture podcast. But yeah, it's like, having pop culture be...
Says the guy in the $200
What the fuck are you wearing?
suit.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, you're not going to listen to the guy in the $200 suit? But yeah. No, it's just that thing of like, yeah, Tyler says it perfectly. It's like, you are not your car, you're not your job, you're not your title. Like, these are all just things because we lack purpose that we latch onto. And yeah, that's definitely a huge theme of the movie. And like anti-consumerism in general. Like the whole reason that there is a Fight Club is because we've become so numbed by consumerism as a society that we literally need to go to these extremes just to feel anything.
Yep.
Because it's like, yeah, it's just the concept of pain is such a foreign concept to everyone in this film because they are, like you had touched on earlier, like they're all very pampered, middle class, mostly white men who are just used to not necessarily having everything handed. But
is there a person of color in this movie that you can identify?
That's Tyler gets his face smacked against the mat in his last fight. Or Edward Norton. It's a black man he's fighting with. Yeah.
There's a black guy.
It's limited.
The one person.
Very limited.
Oh, it's rough. That being
There's
said,
the detective.
Yeah, the detective who is
mention-
pursuing him the whole time is African American. I'm not going to defend this movie with that shit. No, this is terrible whitewash garbage.
Yeah.
As far as that's concerned, but yeah, there are some folks of color in this movie.
But it's like
We can
it's a lot
say
of,
that the main protagonists are white.
Yeah,
men
and I think
in
we
this
can
movie.
also, I don't think it's unfair to say that this whole, like, whoa, it is very much like a white male power fantasy and all of that kind of stuff. I don't think that's out of line at all.
Yep.
So, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of all I was getting at. It's like just the...
It's aimed at like people who are comfortable to the point of boredom,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like, I mean, or that's who it's satirizing, or who that's who, I don't know. But, it's like comfort to the point of boredom. There's like that scene where they meet in the bar, and that scene, like, I'm sorry, I don't speak up during, like, but like they shot that scene like a million times and they freeballed it the whole way through. So like the only dialogue that's not straight from the book is in that bar scene. And Tyler says, like, what is a duvet? Homeboy says, it's a comforter. Tyler says, it's a blanket. It's just a blanket. Like there's this like sense that comfort in its extremity can lead to a sense of meaninglessness, And then we've got, we're coming from the greatest generation, who fought in the greatest war. And we've got the baby boomers, all our parents who are like, yeah, just go do whatever you want. Take out loans, blah, 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 blah. Don't worry about it. And we're like, thanks, Mom. I'm going to go be an artist. And she never said a fucking thing. And then you got your Gen Xers. And man, as I was watching this movie, I wrote down the sentence, Gen Xers are mean. Like Gen X is like that first generation that comes after the greatest generation and the baby boomers. And Gen X is kind of like, dude, this is fucked up. And now we're millennials and we're just sad, So we're like, oh, I don't have a Fight Club. I'm sad. But Gen Xers, man, I was watching the movie. I was like, damn, I can't believe he just said that woman looks like Meryl Streep's skeleton if you dressed it up and made it be nice to people at a party. Like, that's some mean shit. Gen Xers cut to the bone. It's interesting. This is like sort of an anthem, I think, of Gen X, and as a millennial, I pick it up and I'm like, yeah. And then I watch it a few years later and I'm like, oh, dude, I'm not that hardcore. I'm just sad most of the time.
No, we're all like millennials at this table, of varying degrees of age.
I don't know. What do you think, Luke? Are you a Gen Xer or a millennial?
I'm a millennial. I'm the vanguard.
You're the vanguard.
Of the millennials.
All right, right on.
Because the way millennials were described to me was people that grew up on the internet. And like the internet kind of came about in my teens. So it's like, I straddle the line for sure. But Gen X, I don't identify with.
Actually, fun fact, the internet's birthday is somewhere between March 6th and March 13th because my good friend Max, who I just mentioned, Maxwell was cracking.
Hey, stop mentioning him. He's not a producer. Yeah, he doesn't listen.
Oh, sorry, Max. Yeah. Hey, Max.
Max, you owe us money now.
It's my $15, Max.
He was born after the internet, and I was born before the internet. It was somewhere in that week of 1989. That's wild. So I'm always like, no, I'm not a millennial. I'm definitely a millennial.
No, you're... Yeah.
No, I'm sad most of the time. or I'm wildly successful off of like tech money, but that's not me. So I'm just sad most of the time.
That's inherited wealth.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because I think that this movie does speak to the millennial generation in a very distinct way, because we are quintessentially fucked on basically.
So are Xers. Xers are in the same boat.
Mm-hmm.
They just had a different growing up with it. They're just as fucked as we are.
Yeah.
It's bad though. Like, it's this middle generation of not quite knowing how fucked you are until you're absolutely fucked. And the absolutely existential dread that comes with that, and having to work jobs that you fucking hate. And
to buy shit you don't need.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler Durden's a pirate in my brain.
But you do.
My Tyler's a pirate.
Yeah, he's Johnny Depp from Pirates of the Caribbean. He had dental work done professionally
for this movie.
Yeah. And that makes him a great actor.
This is a super side tangent, but there are so many documentaries coming out about the Depp Heard trial that are just like, Johnny Depp was defamed. His career's backed.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Fuck Johnny Depp.
You
listening, Johnny?
It's like, it's absolutely like, I'm not even gonna get into. My point, I think, was that this movie does strike a chord with people around our age because there is truth here. There is an absolute truth of we know the consumerism is stupid. And it is just a little hole in myself that I'm filling by buying stuff. And also that trying to find any excitement or deviation from the norm to try to make it a personality trait or anything else it's trying to seek something that is not naturally occurring in us, which is kind of a hurt. It's something that, as a generation, because we are lightly fucked, majorly fucked, we are trying to heal and trying to just find some ounce of joy or spark within our lives instead of just resigning ourselves to a life of slaving away in whatever job we can find, hopefully for more money, mostly not, to try to just stay alive, and outside of our jobs find joy. But our jobs will not give us joy because we are just a cog in a machine, essentially. And so this is a very real thing. Yeah. That strikes a chord.
Gen Xers, they just got told, just get a better job, work your way up in the system, blah, 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 blah. And they're like, oh, man, well, it doesn't bring me personal fulfillment. And millennials, we're saddled with, it doesn't bring me personal fulfillment. And also, the earth is dying. Also, Chuck Palahniuk in the book, somewhere he says something about Tyler Durden's whole thing is we need to send humanity into remission so that the earth can heal. Dude.
It's the erasing of the credit debt.
Oh, and the stopping of the, because, and I heard on the radio once, because like you said, my band it's on NPR and it's just spoken word, not that's a hardcore version of it. But I heard this thing on NPR and it was somebody talking about growth for the sake of growth is the philosophy of a cancer cell. I want to say it was David Attenborough. And if we just keep consuming, how is it that we're all okay with consumerism as a verb that describes us? Consumption? Yeah. Back in the day, that described tuberculosis. We should not be cool with this. Dude, I'm about to fight somebody.
Do you want to fight?
Would you like to start a club?
Dude, yeah, but we can't talk about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Gonna throw the lasso on this guy real quick. Yeah, we got the Hans Gruber Deathfall Award.
Capitalism.
100% it's capitalism. That's my final ruling, and that's correct.
Yeah, I was gonna say, actually, literally for mine, I had the death of the credit card company skyscrapers. That
Hell
was mine.
yeah.
Woo!
Can we play that Pixie song?
I don't think legally.
Okay.
I'm going to be playing it on guitar badly through the entire podcast. So
Sick. I'll sing.
Just like mispicking.
Yeah.
Just the wrong chords.
Yeah.
And like
out of tune.
your guitar is like 3 minutes and 40 seconds long, and my singing is 3 minutes 43, and it's off the whole time as we loop it.
And the lyrics are just slightly incorrect. I went floating in the Pacific, yeah.
I'm going to put the microphone at one end of the hallway and put you at the other end, and then you just shout it.
Yeah.
My Hans Gruber.
Where
Death
is
Fall.
my brain?
My Hans Gruber death fall is God, what's his face? Grenier.
Robert Paulson.
Zach
Robert
Grenier.
Paulson?
No.
Oh yeah.
The boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The boss.
Right on.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Please stop.
That's a good one. That's really good.
And just then, at our most perfect moment together, security busts in the door. Also, like the idea of shattered glass going through your body and you then continuing to. What a violent image.
Mm-hmm.
We had a lot of shattered glass earlier on this
We
pod.
did, thanks to Chuck.
It was in honor of the, it's for the pod, man.
Oh,
it was on
for the
purpose.
pod.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm tiptoeing around the apartment like, oh God, heaven forbid I should get one shard of glass in my tiny little foot, and he throws
I'm
himself into that
stomping
bookshelf.
hard.
Very
Trying to
satisfying.
feel
Very
something.
satisfying. But also runner up, Lou's downfall with the blood spit in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. That's all better than mine. So
Would you
Would you like to say yours?
Not going to say mine.
Oh, okay. Moving on then. We've got controversial hot takes.
Oh, here we go, baby.
All right, get ready for hour 9 of this podcast.
Yep.
Is it too long?
No, we're fine.
Because I'm going to be here all night.
We can do part 1, 2, and 3,
Yeah.
and 5, and 9.
The bed pulls out for 2, so you can both sleep here.
Me and Luke spooning.
With the pod.
We'll just have
muttering
them- have
with the microphones.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Like, can you move an inch to my right? Also, I really think Tyler Durden is.
Who wants
Sorry.
to go?
I got a simple one. I'm going to end up on a list for saying this, but I'm kind of on board with fucking Project Mayhem. Yeah, the destruction, especially the destruction of the major credit card companies and resetting all of debt. Because, yeah, it's all, it's all made up. It's all fictitious. It doesn't matter. It's just there to keep us all down.
Hell yeah.
I guess another one is not really a hot take, just more of like a sad truth. Once you get a group of disenfranchised men together, it's only a matter of time before you get a violent cult.
That's not a hot take. That's a
I know, that's just a
general
fact. That's
blanket
what I said.
statement.
That's
what
a
I
pretty
said.
cool take, brother.
That's just obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are kind of my big ones. And then this is a hot take. I was like, oh man, like people just not understanding this movie or this book or why we have, certain podcasts that don't sponsor this podcast and like Papa Tate and all that kind of fun stuff is because it's just like, yeah, it's people regurgitating some themes from this movie and not really like, it's like, well, it's not really, it's not the women's fault. It's, society and, consumerism and all that fun stuff we've already been talking about.
Just to kind of, I guess, piggyback on to what I was saying is like, if you feel alone in the world and you feel yourself represented in an art form, that is a good thing generally, unless that art form is a satirical societal commentary on anti-socialism and violence. So I don't know exactly what to say to discourage anybody from just automatically identifying with sociopaths who fit outside the social norm. One fun statistic that pops into mind, which is like broadly related because of Brad Pitt, is when Mr. and Mrs. Smith came out, the Brad Pitt Angelina Jolie movie.
His best movie.
Domestic violence rose about 20% in the United States.
What?
Yeah,
Jesus.
Jesus.
that's an actual fact. Is that
What?
Yeah. If you see something normalized on a big screen in front of a ton of people, some people can think that that is okay.
It's normal, yeah.
That's normal. That's okay. But I don't want that to dissuade people from making any art, because I think that Fight Club is a really good movie, and I don't think that it is about starting a fight club by any means, or I don't think Mr. and Mrs. Smith is about domestic abuse.
Yeah. I'm surprised.
But the thing is that people will draw whatever they need out of this movie. So in terms of when you're making a movie, if it has violence in it, I think that it is...
Which most movies do.
Which most movies do. And I don't think that violence is a part of human life and it shouldn't be excluded from cinema. That if you are, that it needs to be critically examined on multiple different points of like, how is this pushing my story forward? How is this helping? And what is this in the storytelling? Because I think that it can have a critical social impact that is not intended by the filmmaker or anybody involved. So that's my PSA and my little hot take, I guess. And that being said, I love violent movies. So I don't consider myself a very violent human being, occasionally verbally violent, but only with people who deserve it. So she was asking for it. No, I don't know. I really do love this movie. And it kind of hurts my heart a little bit that it's in a kind of pantheon of movies that are looked down upon because of their social impact, which was just bad interpretation.
That's interesting that, like, you talked about Mr. and Mrs. Smith leading to domestic abuse.
Yeah.
And it's like, how is the message of that? Never having seen that movie, because, like, life is too short. I'm sorry I didn't see that movie.
That's okay.
But, like, aren't they, like, CIA agents who are, or hit people?
Yeah, who are trying to get each other. It's
so
very
the lesson is, like, don't be a CIA agent or a hit person. Not try to kill
It is a husband and wife trying to kill each other.
Yeah. Like, it's funny that people interpret things that way.
It's not funny, but it's interesting.
I'm laughing out loud right as we speak. Clearly. No, it's not funny. It's curious. It's like, it's unexpected.
Yeah. I did not expect that.
But yeah, it really just goes to show that if you have any thought in your head, you can find ideology, facts, news articles, anything to back it up.
You can make an excuse out of anything.
I fucking hate excuses.
Dude, well, that's the third rule of Project Mayhem.
No excuses, baby.
No excuses. Boom. Fourth rule, no lies. My hot take for Fight Club is, like, the first thing that comes to my mind when I think of Fight Club, particularly, like, again, this is like maybe super lame, but in relation to January 6th is toxic masculinity. And my hot take is, all right, let's imagine we have an alignment chart. We have toxic. We have, what's the opposite of toxic? Healthy, fertile, wholesome. Yeah, that's wholesome. We have toxic and wholesome. We have masculinity and femininity. And, like, if this movie is an examination of toxic masculinity, this movie is definitely an examination of masculinity, whether or not it's toxic or wholesome. You know, we've spent enough fucking time debating, but, like, just like these questions of, like, what is toxic about the embodiment of each gender? What is wholesome about the embodiment of each gender? Beating each other to a crap and, you know, beating the crap out of each other in a basement, that's not the best thing about masculinity. But, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. That's my hot take.
Wait, so
beating
what?
a single crap out of one another, however, is fine.
Just one poop.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just a nugget.
I'm saying toxic masculinity isn't great. Probably toxic femininity, whatever the fuck that is. That's probably not great.
That's the Taylor Swift fandom.
Is it? But, like, there's something about masculinity. I don't know. It just...
Toxic femininity usually isn't violent.
No. And it's probably a lot more
Usually.
clever than toxic masculinity.
psychological.
Yeah. But like what's wholesome
Toxic
masculinity?
femininity isn't dangerous to white men. It is dangerous to black men and people of color. That's the like differentiation line. Toxic masculinity from white men is dangerous to fucking everybody.
Yes.
What about wholesome masculinity? It's out there somewhere. We don't have to.
It's great for everybody.
It's great for everybody.
Yeah.
Wholesome masculinity?
What is it? Why did nobody tell me about it?
It's Mr. Rogers. It's like people who are,
I mean, I'm
Jesus. I think a lot of people try to tell you about wholesome masculinity.
Jesus and Mr. Rogers? You think those are particularly masculine?
I am incredibly biased, but the men at this table are true champions of really healthy masculinity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I appreciate you all.
I'm trying to put a beer stain in my copy of Fight Club as we speak.
And Sam...
Couldn't overhear you.
Sam's fighting it.
Sorry, Lauren, I couldn't overhear the sound of the IPA seeping into the pages of the best book ever written.
You guys are trying to joke over me.
No, I know.
But
We are.
I really do have a strong love for the men at this table because each and every one, some more than others because I am married to one of them, has shown me time and time again that they are committed to equality and love for their community and their environment. And that makes me happy and makes me happy to share a pod with them.
Aww.
Equality and love for their community. Boom. Wholesome masculinity.
I think that's really all that it is,
That's
honestly.
the motto of this podcast.
That's right.
It's wholesome masculinity.
I just always think it's interesting. We hear that phrase so much, toxic masculinity. I think like, well, then what's the what's the alignment chart going on here?
I think that's what a lot of what this movie asks is like, what is the answer? What do we do? You know?
We're talking about a movie?
I'm about to fire up Shrek 2 after this pod. We'll see what a real man is.
What you got, Chuck?
Oh, I already did mine. Yeah, no, we've been on this subject for a hot second, which is why it's time.
Well, I've got mine.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, my mind blower.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, dude, holy shit.
Sorry.
So I didn't come up
Dude,
with this.
Luke, I'm so sorry. I thought that we were going to talk for a long time. You were going to cut a lot of this shit out. So that's why I'm
Don't
just
worry,
like,
he's gonna.
Good. Whew.
No, I'm
God.
lazy. I'm just leave all this shit in.
All right.
There it is.
It's up to the listener to
3.5
fast forward.
hours.
You've got like 12 hours of nostalgia killers right now.
This is a very important movie. I braved a injured back to be here because I was not
Yes.
going to miss out on this. This hot take I did not come up with. I found it and it's amazing. About 5 months ago, this video was posted. This guy, what is anti-logic? That's just the name of the channel. So what this video proposes is that Jack is actually Tyler Durden through the entire movie. Mostly because like the clue is like the plane tickets. You can't get a plane ticket without an ID. But Tyler Durden is actually dealing with testicular cancer. Jack, Marla, Bob, and everybody in Project Mayhem are figments of his imagination. Marla and Tyler are two competing identities that he has to contend with throughout the movie. I recommend watching the video.
Marla and Tyler or Marla?
Marla and Tyler are both figments of his imagination.
Of Tyler Durden's imagination?
Yeah.
And Tyler's the central character.
Dude, this is getting like kind of
So
David
it's-
Lynchy right now.
there's-
like,
Well, there's more. Like, there's a lot of clues, and that this person has gone through the movie and kind of laid it out.
Can you send us the video?
Yeah, I have the link right here. I mean, I'm going to put it on the description of the podcast. I want people to watch this because this is the newest, most awesome take on this movie I've seen, and
Why
it's
is it-
just from 5 months ago. So
Why is it referred to as anti-logic?
no, it's just the name of the channel.
Oh, that's the name of the channel.
Yeah, it's just the identity of the channel. They do other videos
That's
on movies and
interesting.
stuff.
I'm very curious.
So there's
to
all
see
kinds of
the-
clues.
Yeah. What
The thing with Tyler and Marla never being in the same place at the same time. These are just bits of the video that I'm remembering. When they're on the bus and they look at the Gucci ad, they're like, is that what a man's supposed to look like? And Tyler says, self-improvement is masturbation.
Mm-hmm.
Every time Tyler and Marla are fucking,
Masturbation is not necessarily self-improvement.
well, no, every time Tyler and Marla are fucking,
That would be masturbation.
Jack is masturbating because he's self-improving. He's doing sit-ups. He's brushing his teeth. He's reading.
Ooh.
This
That's
video,
so good.
This
That's
video
awesome.
fucking blew my mind.
That's awesome.
All this great stuff. So like even Bob.
You know, it's funny. I always thought the fact that he was doing sit-ups was weird because I was like, wait, I thought self-improvement was...
he's just trying to be Zen. That's how it's explained. So there's the way this video kind of shows it is that there's this first level that we all thought was Tyler Durden being the imaginary character.
Sure.
This next level goes in and it shows like just how much all of these people are fucking. And there's also when he's traveling around trying to find Tyler. He goes to the bar, and they're all in the back saying his name is Robert Paulson. And he turns back around and the bartender's there who wasn't there before. Also a figment of his imagination. Like the movie kind of shows these little things. That's like these people that appear out of nowhere. And it's like it's obvious. When you watch the video, you're gonna be like, yeah. It's good. It's good. It's like it's a whole other take. It makes that whole new movie for me.
It's a new level.
When they walk into the bar and everybody looks at Edward Norton, you're like, oh yeah, of course they would, because this is all a figment of Tyler Durden's imagination.
And there's a lot of instances of when him and Marla are out in public. Nobody looks at Marla. In the beginning, when we're introduced to Bob, nobody looks at Bob. Bob's sitting there, doesn't have a partner.
She gets almost hit by a car like several times.
Yeah.
While he's like trying to cross the road.
Oh, that's a great one.
And then there's the actual theme is about losing your testicles and dealing with the masculinity. So it never says when he goes to the remaining men together, it never says whether or not he is also, been through cancer or whatever. So it's never, he could be just in that group because he's supposed to be there anyway. Yeah. It's a fucking mind bender, and when you watch it, you'll be like,
dude, I'm gonna watch this movie again.
Yeah.
It's funny because I haven't watched it in like 10 years, and I watched it and I was like, oh, this is so cool, I can't wait to talk about it. And then I was like, dude, I gotta watch this movie again. Even 10 years later, and I got my big like spoonful of fucking Tyler Durden and testicular cancer and the whole 9 yards, but I gotta watch it again. Smart movie. Also, I gotta watch for the Starbucks. Because
oh yeah,
I got that. I didn't see it.
I didn't watch for it, but like apparently there's a Starbucks cup in every scene.
Every shot, except for the meetings. There's the just old coffee pot. It's like Marla never has a Starbucks.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like a more
Just
harkens back to the
background.
analog age in the meetings, and
Or she's fake. She's just not real. Which is my new hot take.
dude, that's a hot take.
Very, very hot indeed.
Hot damn, I'm hot.
Woo!
Dude.
gotta put on some oven mitts.
Yeah.
Now we can move on.
Okay, my apologies further.
It's all good.
Time for another Spider-Man award. Do we need a remake?
Absolutely
No, fuck
not.
off.
Yep.
I wrote philosophy is dead.
Yeah.
There's no way anyone would get this except the people sitting here and maybe Dante.
Yeah. Shout out to Dante.
Yeah.
Like
There's a-
Dante,
Also,
our
like-
friend, or like Dante, like back in the day.
Dante Alighieri.
No, Dante
El Paradiso.
No, he's
He's
Carlozzi.
Carlozzi. Yeah.
Oh.
You met Dante.
He was on the cooking show. He was the chef.
You guys are not talking about Dante Alighieri? No. All right, cool. I know Dante, but I also know the other Dante who wrote Paradiso, and like he's kind of a big deal, and I know him personally, just like I know Julie Dreyfus.
Yeah.
Also, I'm just gonna throw out there, like, any good movie does not need a fucking sequel because it did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Just like Tyler Durden always does what he needs to do. This is stupid. That's also maybe a hot take, but like, movies don't need fucking sequels. If it warrants a sequel, it's because it didn't finish the job.
Or if there's more story to tell, like in Shrek 2. After the couple comes together.
Or the infinite fucking Marvel multiverse.
I'm not going to speak on that at this point.
But here comes Kanye.
But here comes Kanye.
Pluggables! Get your shameless marketing spiel out before the big finale, Samuel.
Dude.
Sam's doing shows.
Yeah.
Sam's doing shows. Sam's
Fuck
in a
that
play.
Plug your
shit.
fucking show right,
All right,
now.
here's my show. When's this going to come out? It better come out within 1 week.
Couple days.
Okay, good. I'm in Stones in His Pockets at the Spreckles Performing Arts Center.
Hey,
Running until September 10th.
No.
Two charming Americans pretend they're Irish in this
I'm going to stop.
little tiny show. It's
Sam.
actually a lot of fun. I'm only making fun of it because Tyler Durden says it's stupid.
Sam,
It's fun. Me and one other guy play all the parts.
Yeah.
I'm going to need you to actually redo that and plug it properly.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Here, I'll plug the fucking thing.
No. I need to practice. All right. Well,
Let's
funny
look.
you should ask, Lauren. I'm actually in a show. It's a live theater show. We actually still do those. And
Really? In Sonoma County?
in Sonoma County. It's at the Spreckles Performing Arts Center at the Condiati Theater, playing through the 10th of September.
That's right. That's right in Roanoke Park.
Right in Roanoke Park, California. Fridays, Saturdays at 7:30 and Sundays at 2 o'clock. And by Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, I mean one Friday, one Saturday, and one Sunday. It's
That's
this weekend
right.
only.
Folks, you only have one weekend left to catch this
That's right.
exhilarating performance from two incredible actors who I both really love dearly. They're both incredibly talented, so funny. They each play several characters in this heartwarming, tugs on your heartstrings, melancholy in that, beautiful Irish way.
Hell yeah. It's going to make you feel things.
It's going to make you feel things.
It's going to make you feel good. It's going to maybe make you feel not so good.
You're gonna
It's going to
laugh.
make you feel things.
You're gonna
It's
cry.
going to be exhilarating because me and Jimmy Gagarin, who is from Los Angeles, California, everybody. He's from right here.
No,
But he was down in LA for a long time, so he's a big deal.
Visited LA once.
Me and Jimmy Gagarin, we're going to play all the parts, and we're not going to take like a fucking second of a goddamn break.
It's
so if we can do it,
amazing.
y'all can fucking do it.
It is so amazing.
come and see it.
They play all the parts, and
Yeah.
they are so seamless in their transitions.
Yeah, it's live fucking theater. We have
It's
to do it in one take.
live theater.
Yeah.
It's incredibly fun. Y'all should go and see this.
This is a pretty rough sell. I feel like I did a really sad one and then a really angry one.
No, you did pretty good,
All
I
right.
think.
You guys should come see it.
I briefly like to just speak on this, so maybe you can cut this in over that. Sherry, if you're listening, I really want that job. Stones in His Pockets is a... Shut the fuck up.
Luke's gonna cut all this shit out anyway.
It's going up front.
Do we need
No,
to go?
This is what's going to sell the show.
Okay, here we go.
Listen to a, what did you call it?
What?
Listen to a Sigma male try to sell himself on this show.
That's not what I said. I said you're one of the
No, you
most
said-
loveliest feminist mans in my life.
But the phrase they use, Sigma male. Anyways, you guys ready to do this fucking show or what? Theater.
Join hands with the community in your area.
Theater.
Stones in His Pockets playing at Roanoke Park's.
Spreckles Performing Arts Center.
Yeah, there we go. I give up.
It's kind of fitting that this would be maybe like one of the more nihilistic episodes as of yet. Like, yeah, I'm doing something, but why the fuck does it matter, Lauren?
I think it fucking matters. Art matters. Art locally matters. You're bringing something to the community that should be expressed, and also, fuck you, you're having fun, by the way, so...
Hell yeah. And it's great acting.
All right, there we go.
There we go.
That's enough.
Much like this podcast that you can find and support on Patreon by subscribing for free to learn when we have new shows and new bits. And then for $5 a month, you get access to our post-show which has grown into like an hour and a half long video where we talk shit about people. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's really fun.
You guys talk shit about me? I ain't even gotten started. Oh, man.
We're in the third hour of this.
Dude, we're going to be here all night.
There's no post show on this one. For $15 a month, you can be an executive producer, and we will shout out your name during the episode. That's all I have for that one. For $100 a month, you can choose Team Javi, Team Chuck.
And Javi ain't even here, so it's all Team Chuck.
So it's
baby.
probably going to be Team Chuck. And you can choose the next movie that we cover.
That's right.
And then, yeah, for $1,000, you can. We are corporate,
Selling.
consumer sellout shills.
Yeah.
And we will talk about your company, product, brand.
Yeah. Talk about
Or Chuck will.
Starbucks cups in every shot of this movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, we'll do a Starbucks shout out in every category,
Yeah, Planet Denny's, baby.
Exactly.
The IBM Galaxy.
That's right. It's the white chocolate mocha hot take, everybody.
Oh, fuck.
It's the Java Chip Frappuccino Award for most delicious beverage one can drink.
That's not a bad idea to have a sponsorship to name an award.
Exactly.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, the Home Depot where doers get more done.
Exactly.
Hans Gruber Deathfall.
Yeah.
We're so doing that. All right. I'm ready to move on.
All right, on to the Best Buy top. We're on to the Sonic Death Monkey top 5, a made-up list of deep emotional, esoteric relevance to the subject of the film. This week's question: what are your top 5 all-time movies about struggling to find your purpose in the world?
Oh,
Ooh.
I have some that I jotted down. I feel like you guys deserve to go before me.
I can go quick.
Yeah, I got mine ready too. Whenever.
For number 5, I got The Matrix.
Fuck.
That's my number 3.
I feel like mine are going to be different from you guys.
Okay.
Number 4, I have Groundhog Day.
Fuck.
Number 3, Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Fuck.
I just really liked it. I don't know.
And I wasn't kidding.
Number 2, Stranger Than Fiction.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank Christ.
Number 1.
I brought you some flowers.
Yeah.
That's
Isn't that the
fucking
cutest fucking thing ever?
I absolutely die. And also, by the way, if anybody's taking notes, a basket of flowers. I love real flowers, but actual flowers would be much more constructive to me as a baker. So yeah, feel
I'll be
free.
curious just to like taste all the different ones. Like,
Yeah,
I've
some
never
rye.
had access to all those. The fuck.
Yeah, there's a lot of different flowers out there.
Number 1, kind
Number
of in tune with the feeling of Fight Club is SLC Punk. Self-destruction.
I can't wait to do that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I've never seen or even heard of that movie.
Really?
SLC Punk?
Salt Lake
City Punk.
Salt Lake City Punk.
That's what you were talking about, the Mormons fight clubbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. Huh.
Heroin Bob.
Really,
dude.
really good.
All right. Right on.
Yep. Stinky fool.
Who wants to go next?
Y'all.
Okay. Number 5.
Wait, Sam, go first.
You said y'all and you did a head, like for those not watching, I got a very across the table like head nod.
I didn't mean you. I meant
I think
Sam.
she meant me. I want to
All
go
right.
first. Lolo, you first.
No, Sam
No,
first.
me first.
Then
Okay.
me.
All right, Chuck, we'll trade. Ready for it?
Yep.
Number 8. I have an 8 on here.
You went too far.
I went too far. But I'm keeping it because this is going to be a 12-hour podcast. The Sixth Sense. I put it on there because it's got that twist. It's got a main character who you don't realize his expectations have been totally subverted until the end.
Yeah.
The Sixth Sense.
It's a really good one.
Chuck, what you got?
All right. My number 5. I got Kings of Summer.
Oh,
It's about 3 boys who kind of pseudo run away and build like a cool, like basically like oasis in the middle of the forest.
I want to go round
Ooh.
robin with this then.
Yeah, let's this will be fun.
Oh, now she wants in.
I already blew mine.
I
sorry.
know, Lauren.
Lost in Translation.
Bullshit. It's your number 5?
I'm going in no particular order here.
That's fine.
This is the best Sofia Coppola movie, and Oh, what?
I'll go virgin suicides.
Really? Interesting.
But that's just me. I'm encroaching on your list, and I shouldn't.
Listen, Luke, you blew your wad, okay? You're out.
I already went. I had my turn.
Look, how dare you do this the way we normally do this, Luke?
I'm turning off my mic.
The close-up on Scarlett Johansson's butt is worth enough to just be like lost in translation.
I liked Lost in Translation, but it came out too close to this other movie called Broken Flowers.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That kind of turned me off of it.
The same fucking...
Yeah.
All right, next up. Ready for it? Again, characters, I don't need to fucking explain it. Melancholia.
Nice.
I love that movie.
Yep.
I've actually never seen that movie, but I've watched the intro to that movie.
It's not
over
great.
50 times with my fucking wife.
Because I'm like, you have to fucking watch this. And he's like, I've seen it already. No, you haven't. Sit there fucking down.
Yeah. And then I'm like, can we watch the rest of it? And she's like, nah.
Melancholia.
Nice pick.
Nice. My number 4, Luke already touched on it, Groundhog Day. Yeah.
Fuck!
It's hard to find your purpose in the world when you're, reliving the same day every day.
Another appearance.
Beautiful metaphor for that.
There's so many things that are not... Okay.
That's okay. This is why we're different human beings.
This is a completely subjective list.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not beholden to the rules of any
All right,
way.
I'm going to throw in the Darjeeling Limited by Wes Anderson, which is about 3 white men on a journey of self-discovery, but also, it's cute and fun and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 for me is The Matrix.
Oh.
Shit.
Same year. 99?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And The Sixth Sense?
Mm-hmm.
It's funny
It was a
because
weird
I
year.
remember all those things happening at different times in my life.
So the Matrix came out first, I think, in January.
Wow, what a great year.
saw
Right
it,
before
yeah.
fucking Armageddon, right? 2000.
Oh,
yeah.
no, Armageddon came out before.
No, he
I
means
mean-
like actual
Right before the actual Armageddon? Gotcha.
Y2K. Excuse me.
Gotcha.
Y2K. Yeah.
Are you talking about the movie?
Y2 what?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm just a babe. I'm just a little
Right before Y2K, we had this spurt of
Oh yeah,
Really
it's just
great filmmaking.
the world feeling ennui, like of just oh my god, we're at a new millennia, and we haven't changed. We're all the same.
We're gonna have to wait 10 years to
self-destructive, murderous
find-
pieces of shit.
Yeah.
We've got to people looking for relevance.
and
in
it might be
life.
another 12 years before we think the world is going to collapse like the Mayans said it would or whatever.
What you got?
My number 3 is Office Space.
Office Space!
Yeah,
That's actually a really good pairing.
yeah.
That's a great.
That's
I
a good
fucking
pairing.
love that movie. That's on that list. I can't wait to do that on the pod because that's on that list of movies that I watched ad nauseum, to death, and that's I purposely haven't touched it in 15 years. I'm ready to dig that grave up, baby.
Hell yeah. And that's if Fight Club wasn't so heavy.
Yeah, that's if Fight Club subverted the violence for just revenge, basically.
What was the prompt again?
It was, what are your top 5 all-time movies about struggling to find your purpose in the world?
Okay, I've got In Bruges,
Oh,
which
yeah.
is one of my favorite movies.
Same.
Hell yeah.
And watching Colin Farrell struggle in his life so much.
I made a short film and stole from that.
So good. I have also 6 more, so I'm going to go on after you guys go on.
Yeehaw.
Well,
So,
Sam's
gonna-
got a list of 8 too, apparently.
Yeah. I'm gonna blow my load here. Office Space, number 2. Number 1, I just saw it and I feel like women are important.
Is that the name of the movie?
Yeah. Barbie.
Oh, yeah.
Barbie. I fucking loved Barbie. I loved it so much. She struggles to find her. Oh my gosh. Barbie. There she is.
There you go.
It's sad that
I would put
Barbie
any-
is the
any Greta
female
Gerwig.
representation on this list, but I fucking loved
Hey,
that
wait.
movie.
I've got some female members.
Okay. Sorry, I forgot about your 12 movies that you're about to reveal to us. But I stuck to the original list of 5, which I kind of think is
Said
important.
Mr. 8.
Huh?
It says Mr. 8.
What do you
Barbie was great.
I would put forward any Greta Gerwig film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Frances Ha,
Lady Bird is great.
Lady Bird
is
so
Struggling to
fantastic.
find purpose.
Pretty
Yeah.
much what she does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
We kind of were joking about it before you even got here, Luke, of well, isn't that just every movie?
Nah. But Barbie, like Fight Club, kind of like shoves it down my throat where I'm like, oh, I don't need to find purpose. She needs to find purpose. I'm just an idiot watching this movie. And they're like,
I'm an autonomous man. That's a doll that needs to figure shit out.
yeah, shove it down my throat. I loved Barbie.
My number 2 is Licorice Pizza. And not so much, well, it's the main character as well, but...
See, everybody drank because you're a fucking cuck.
I'm a cuck for picking Licorice Pizza?
Yeah.
What? It's a great fucking movie, and
PTA cuck.
PTA's sick.
everyone's trying to find their purpose in that movie. That's literally the definition of the movie.
So is PTA.
Yeah.
I think I actually watched the play today where the cuck comes from.
Oh.
I think it's in Merchant of Venice.
Oh, I thought it was Othello.
But I mean, it's Shakespeare. But I mean, I just thought it was a neat point to bring up because I blew my list. I didn't get to talk anymore. So
Yeah.
Serves
So now you're now being cucked.
You're
Ostracized.
I'm still here, damn it.
I think that round robin is a fun way to do this.
I like moving forward.
Yeah.
I'm down to play with it.
Casablanca.
You call me a fucking cuck. Pick Casablanca.
Okay, back it off, guys.
I'm
Just
a
take it easy.
classic
Take it easy.
cuck, and you're a fucking...
I want to change mine. I want to bring in Armageddon.
Hell yeah.
Wait till you hear my later picks.
Fair
They're really
fair
bad.
enough. I don't know. Is that fair? Because the thing.
Well, as Chuck mentioned, isn't that every movie?
Yeah.
But that's not what I meant by the prompt.
No, I know.
But yeah, would you? Yeah.
I meant at this level of Fight Club, like at this existential level.
Sure.
Trying to find your.
But your purpose having been like.
All right,
subverted.
I got one for you.
Yeah.
Into the Wild.
It's good.
Yeah.
Did you read the book?
Yes,
I
I
read it-
did.
I read
And
it in
it's about
college,
a real
actually.
dumb fucking kid who wanders in the wild and dies.
Yeah.
And I like it as a movie, and I like it as a book, but also
Could have been your real, actual diary for most
could
of
have
your
been
life.
also this movie. Like, it's just about a person with mental illness, and that's not wrong necessarily, but I don't know. Into the Wild, Fight Club. I watched this with Alana, and she was like, "Oh, this guy's like totally mentally ill the whole time." I was like, "No, he's not. He's Tyler Durden. He's sick." You know? And I was like, "Oh, fuck. He's just like really, really, really off." I don't know.
I had Into the Wild studied in an English class at the junior college. And I had an argument with another student who was, 10, 15 years younger than me. They were trying to figure out why would he go into the wild and do that? Why would he go in order to just find himself or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of like explain, being the older person, that like you can't just do that at your home in New Jersey.
Yeah.
You have to go through trials and stuff.
Exactly. You can't just be like, well, I'm going to figure out who I am in Hoboken.
Hoboken?
Yeah. But it's in New Jersey.
If you're going to Alaska, let someone know where you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, look up what foods you should and should not eat.
Oh yeah, that was a pretty big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
But,
what's your...
Sorry, I
your-
didn't mean to just like totally crap.
Your,
on it.
your,
No,
num-
you're
your
perfect.
number one,
This
Chuck?
podcast is completely off the rails now.
Yeah,
so
it's been off the rails.
does not matter.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, that's fucking
Just-
Fight Club.
That's
Just
Fight
like-
Club right
just
there,
like
baby.
Fight
You just
Club.
destroyed, you just Tyler Durden the hell out of this.
Yes.
Yep.
My number one is Everything Everywhere All at Once. Yeah, I would argue it is on par with the existential. I mean, that's one of the best explorations of existentialism and nihilism I think I've ever seen committed to film.
Yeah.
Personally, it was a movie that could have ended 9 times, and I mean that in the best way possible. In the sense that if it would have ended with the rock scene,
I would have
spoiler alert, for anyone seen it.
Spoiler.
But yeah, if it would have ended with the rock scene, that would have been a perfect ending. And then it kept going. And then it had a better ending. And it could have stopped. And then it had the ending that it got. I was like, I like that ending too. It was, yeah.
Hell yeah.
This is perfect because I had forgotten my true existential pick.
Oh, I know where this is going.
Yes,
Where's it going?
I Heart Huckabees.
Yep.
Yeah?
Yep. I mean, that's where that was going.
I fucking love this movie. I absolutely do. It is one of the most unhinged movies of the 21st century, featuring some of our best actors: Lily Tomlin, Dustin Hoffman, fucking Marky Mark.
Berg. Yeah.
Yes, is in there. Naomi Watts, Jude Law, There are so many more.
Shania Twain.
Shania Twain's in it. Isabelle Huppert.
Fuck.
I need to rewatch it. Yeah.
Young
Never seen
Jonah
it.
Hill. Like,
young Jonah
really young
Fuck.
Jonah Hill.
Wow.
Jason Schwartzman is the lead of the film, and it is about existential nihilism, and it is fucking funny, and it is one of my favorite ensemble movies of all time, and
Nice.
I love this movie so
Nihilism
much.
is kind of hilarious.
Nihilism's fucking funny.
I watched it once, and I had to watch it with someone I hated, so I had a bad taste for that movie. But as you've explained it, I need to rewatch that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I suggest a
Oh, it's on the pod
rewatch.
list. Don't worry.
Right?
I'd be interested to see a podcast about nostalgia revivers. Be like, yeah, I watched this with somebody I hated while I was like having indigestion, but it's a really great movie.
Yeah.
I have the DVD if you want.
Right on. I don't have anything that plays DVDs anymore. Sorry to say.
I'm unfortunate enough to be
Future
living
man.
with a human that
nuts.
continues to do that.
Well, much like what's taught about consumerism, in Fight Club, I kind of adopted the shedding of possessions before this movie because I happened to be a 14-year-old who read the Buddhist Bible, and I just been like, yeah, I'll do that.
What do you mean the Buddhist Bible?
Well,
The
I read that one
Buddhist
too,
Bible?
but
It's a little different.
What is the Buddhist Bible?
it's just a collection of like aphorisms and it's
Buddhist
basically the
texts.
Bible, yeah, but the Buddhist version.
Huh.
And it's a lot about, and there's also Siddhartha. I read Siddhartha
Mm-hmm.
in high school, and that's about shedding possessions.
Cute.
I really should have read Siddhartha in high school. I mean, it was assigned.
You can read it now.
I know, but I just.
I read. Wait, did you?
Never heard of it.
Oh, I was just gonna really quick fun
Herman
side
Hesse.
story.
I read it.
It was required reading, and I think it was like junior year or senior year.
Like
of
so
high
much
school.
great literature, it's required fucking reading. You're like, this is stupid. I'm Tyler
This
Durden.
makes
No, I know
so
everything.
much fucking sense,
But-
honestly, as I'm trying to like declutter our lives, and you're just there like, what am I?
Yeah, so I did not read Siddhartha. I like smoked a bunch of pot instead and cut school and was like a little piece of shit. And came to bite me in the ass because like for the final, it was literally like we had to write an essay about every single one of the books. Like this was a timed essay that we had to write. It was a miserable English class that I was in. But that one was great because I was like, oh, Siddhartha. And I was like, cracked open the pen. My essay was, I did not read Siddhartha. And I was like, next. I was like, Great Gatsby? Fucking hated it, but I can go off on 9 paragraphs. Let's do it.
Dude, this is my favorite essay that has ever been written.
I did not read Siddhartha.
Love that.
No, I was just like,
It's like the
If
shortest
we could
book ever.
get a
too.
copy of that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I
I think
have
it's-
one.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you mine.
Hell yeah.
I love your hatred of the Great Gatsby, honestly, because it's not based on any literary criticism,
No.
just your hatred of rich people.
it's my pure hatred of wealth. Yeah, that's all it is.
And
Fuck yeah!
Born back against the tide.
yeah, but because of that, and because of other experiences that I've had with you, I was like, this incredible show that I'm watching, I think, like the acting, everything, the writing, and I'm like, you can never watch Succession with me because you will fucking throw a chair through the window because you just hate rich people so fucking much.
Yeah, I tried the White Lotuses,
Oh, you didn't like them?
That, I shouldn't even have started on that because it's
I know.
like a double
This is its own
whammy.
podcast now, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
Satire. Irony. There are things.
Chuck and Sam dunking on things that rich people are
But
the
like the
protagonists
second
of.
you're like, oh, I get it. They're making fun of the rich people. It's like, oh yeah, I'm down. Let's do this. The Great Gatsby, like, God, it's yeah.
I don't know. I'm a fucking 34-year-old man. I could probably revisit The Great Gatsby without throwing a chair. Who knows?
Or you could just read whatever the fuck you want.
That's
Who gives a
true,
fuck
Sam.
about F
That's right.
Fucking Scott.
They write-
and stupid
They write books
Gerald.
about cool stuff like aliens and
Yeah.
weird things that you can just like learn about. Yeah.
Sick.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
Next
All right,
category.
anyways.
Derailed. Okay. Who won the movie?
Fucking railed. Fuck this podcast. I really
leads-
like this podcast.
that
I'm
leads
just
perfectly-
being, I'm just being a
It's-
tease.
it's on theme,
because
dude. I love
we're
it.
like
It's very
4
Fight
hours
Club
into
of you.
this thing, and I'm sorry, but like,
No, it's fine.
No. That leads perfectly into who I had who won the movie. It's Toxic Man Everywhere.
Top 5, baby. Right here. Okay. All right, Lou. There's a sign out front that says Lou's Tavern. I fucking love that line. All right,
too.
Number 4, Raymond K. fucking Hessel. June Kim. That guy. Also, June Kim. Also, Korean people. Give your children different names so we can know who the fuck they are. June fucking Kim. Dude, like, this guy should be a fucking celebrity, but he's just June Kim. That guy's fucking performance, I love. I read the book. And that guy's performance captures not only the character, not only the way that chapter is written, it captures, like, exactly what I would feel if somebody put a fucking gun to my head. June fucking Kim, Raymond K. Hessel. Number 4. All right. Number 3, number 2, number 1. It's a 3-way tie.
When do we tell them there's only supposed to be one?
It's going to be the most
He
boring.
stops talking.
It's going to be the most boring 3-way tie you've ever read. You're reading this podcast right now.
I'm looking at you, babe.
I'm absorbing it. Yeah.
All right. Look at me. Imagine 3 characters from this stupid fucking film in a 3-way tie for the winner.
It's
Who are the
Marla,
fucking 3-way?
Tyler, and the narrator.
That's who it is.
Yep.
That's who it fucking is. It's Marla because Helena Bonham Carter truly does not give a fuck about American people. Does not give a fuck. She doesn't know what grade school is. She's not going to learn what grade school is. She has her makeup artist do her fucking makeup with her fucking left hand. She doesn't give a fuck. All right, then you got Edward Norton. He's going to make like 1/7 of what fucking Brad Pitt makes. And he's going to give a performance that is fucking righteous. When you watch his face as it's pressed into Bob's tits, you're going to be like, that's acting. When you watch Marla tell him at the end of the movie, you're spectacular in bed. And there's that little take that he has where he's like, maybe I am. Yeah. Fucking righteous. When he gets up off the cop table, when they're about to cut his nuts off, he fucking he like escapes off the cop.
That's a scene we didn't even touch on.
Fucking good.
First person who gets up gets a lead salad.
Gets a lead salad. And he just makes that. You can tell that he never thought through that phrase, but he just like blurted it out. Also, fucking William fucking Bradley, son of a bitchin' Pitt, who, you know, if you're like an average looking guy who thinks he's an actor and you see a really good looking guy who's actually a much better actor than you, every fucking time it drives a little ice pick into your goddamn heart. And every time Brad Pitt gives a good performance,
it bothers you.
I die a little bit. And I'm like, oh, he's better than me and he's better looking. This fucking performance, Brad Pitt goes on to produce like 800,000 fucking films.
He
Brad
just
Pitt
has
is
the money.
shit.
It's fine.
But also Edward Norton, who's like also better looking and significantly more talented than me. It's a 3-way tie. It's a 5-way tie.
Do we need
Disqualified
to say any more?
Oh, God. I need to stop moving. I said I need to stop moving because I keep jostling things.
I put down Brad Pitt because he got $17 million just to fucking show up on set.
Fuck.
So
Yeah, I think it's Brad Pitt.
David Fincher. Yeah.
I'm reluctant to go on a rant about him.
Do it.
Do it.
Come on, man.
I love him. I love that he's a technical director. He knows the camera stuff. He knows what lenses he want to use. He can describe the shot he wants with the numbers and the lights. Gives exactly the information he needs to get to his team to get the shot made. However, when he gets to that shot, he does it 50 fucking times.
Yeah, that's unnecessary. If you already are that dialed in.
I understand the method and the idea, but you're torturing people.
Mm-hmm.
I think he likes it, and that's what I love about him.
Other people would argue that it's bad directing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not able to do that in 5 takes, you're not able to convey to your actors what you want out of them.
Fuck yeah.
I completely agree.
That's my feeling on Fincher.
I think he may be a bad director,
Yeah.
but I think he may be a director that luxuriates in torturing people.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck that.
We did go over the Space Monkey who quit from getting slapped.
Yeah.
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 But
Somebody walked off the fucking set. And
An
they
extra.
replaced him.
Good for them. That's what I said. Because they're because also they're a fucking extra.
Also,
they're getting like $200 in 99
pockets.
But yeah, that's mine. I love everything he makes. I'll watch anything he makes, but I don't like him as a director.
What do you mean you like everything he makes, but you want?
Well, no, like he doesn't like,
Everything I watch now, knowing how he makes it, the torture he put people through.
But you don't appreciate the process.
Same with Kubrick. Kubrick had the same mental shit.
And it's like
I do not
irresponsible.
Approve of that. I will not do that as a director. That's just, no.
Hell yeah.
That's just me.
Good for you.
Thanks, man.
Because that's fucking irresponsible.
That's wholesome masculinity right there.
That is. I was going to say, one of my favorite things.
Equality and love of your community.
If I can just go on a complete tangential.
No.
Okay, perfect. This is the one time I get cut off. No, that is one of my favorite things about working with you, Luke, honestly, is that you just respect everyone and their time, in the sense that there are times where I am like neurotic as shit and I'm like, I don't know, maybe we do need like 6 more takes of that. And you're like, no, man, we fucking got it. And I'm like, are you sure? And then you're like, yeah, we got it. And I look at you and I'm like, I have such confidence in you and your vision and your abilities that I'm just like, yeah, if Luke thinks we got it, then it's perfect.
If I'm behind the camera laughing, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, and that's pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Also, yeah, like just, not going to name names until the after show. Not going to name names, but yeah,
we've
just like
been in the after show for like 6
I know.
hours right now.
But I'm just going to quick.
The fucking meter rolled over.
Oh, God damn it.
Dude.
Sorry for this one.
What's the question? What's the last thing?
Okay. We're going to wrap this thing up. Yeah, sorry.
Oh my God, it's 9:00.
Yeah, exactly. The verdict. We are finally at the verdict, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. We climbed Mount Toxic Everest. Good or bad? Is this movie worth a rewatch? Is it something you recommend?
As a nostalgia killer, would you? What are options?
Kill it. Let live. Continue to monitor or kill it. Yeah.
Kill
You're
it.
gonna
kill it?
Absolutely.
Never gonna watch it again.
No, I'm not gonna never watch it again.
But that's what killing would do.
All right.
Think of Robert Paulson. You don't get to talk to Bob again.
But think of Robert Paulson. Only in death does he have a name. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do with Fight Club. All right. Here's what I'm gonna do.
Get close to the mic so they can fucking
Yeah.
hear you.
Yeah.
Come up to
I'm
the
not
mic.
gonna kill it, but I am I'm not gonna kill it because that's what it would want. I'm gonna lock it out of the house.
So you're gonna monitor it.
If Fight Club doesn't want to learn how to like cook dinner for itself and stop throwing tantrums, it can die. Or it can come back in and it can grow the fuck up. I'm a goddamn grown fucking man. And I can't get my shit together because of a fucking subversive movie like this.
Is this what you're blaming? This is just to reconfirm. This is what you're blaming all of your problems on.
Most of them.
Okay, great.
And that is my testimony, Your Honor.
Yeah.
That's what you end with. Yeah.
Yeah. I said continue to monitor, just because I fucking love this movie. Rewatching it, it sparked like so much joy and love. But much like Sam said, it's the thing of like, yeah, dude, can I recommend this to like a 12-year-old who hasn't seen it?
No.
Probably not. Like, it's like I gotta recommend it with a grain of salt to said 12-year-old who hasn't seen it. I gotta be like, hey.
What if you were able to sit through and watch it with that 12-year-old and explain things?
That would be, I'm monitoring the 12-year-old, so I'm gonna continue to monitor, is what I'm saying. Like, it's that thing of like, because yeah, not everyone has the mental capacity and whatnot to just be like, oh, satire, or like, oh yeah, maybe don't blow up my neighbor's mailbox with pipe bombs because that's what fucking Tyler Durden wants me to do. Like, so it's, yeah.
Now we're on a list.
Exactly. I said don't, Luke. Actually, no, I said maybe don't.
Chat GPT doesn't distinguish between. I'm going to let it live.
Hell yeah.
Mostly because I think I got out unscathed from most of the world and not having all the baggage attached to this movie.
You were also in the service when you saw this movie. Which
I just
like
benefited.
you had a purpose. Maybe.
I punched other teenage boys in a pool.
Yeah, exactly.
I was part of the problem.
Yeah, I benched little.
I did not. I say let this movie live because of its educational purposes. And like, critical thinking should not be a dying faculty in our country.
No, it really shouldn't.
I don't know.
Hey, claps all around.
Critical thinking
Nope.
and the
wish I
ability
weren't
to
so
understand
critical.
satire should not be something that we give up on. Art should be fun and accessible, and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Art should be fun
I'm just
and
looking over there.
accessible,
Okay.
and if people don't fucking understand it, then I don't know what the fuck to say to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we should not stop making art.
No.
Because there are illiterate fucks that won't understand this shit. That's the main point, is that subversion should continue, no matter what. Art should continue to breed thought and conversation among the masses, hopefully not exclusively among violent white men, but it should continue, and it should not be fearful of misunderstanding. So I say art and subversion should continue, and I lost my train of thought.
I like it.
I love it.
I don't know.
Finish it off.
The veil of Maya. You just like want the veil pulled over your eyes sometimes.
No. This is the purpose of art. The purpose of art is to slap you in the face and wake you up just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Make you think for yourself. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, it's also like a litmus test in the sense that,
I don't want filmmakers to live in fear of misinterpretation
no.
in
Fair
terms
enough.
of
That's
making something that is meaningful to them.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's how we get the Meg too.
Exactly. Did you know that in the Meg 2, Jason Statham takes a jet ski out into the open ocean with some sticks of dynamite
Sick.
and punches the shark in the fucking face?
Hell yeah. Well, on that note, thank you so much for listening.
And Lolo,
if you're still
Art
listening,
should be
God bless you.
subversive. Art should be subversive. Don't be afraid.
me as hard as you can.
Right now?
Whoa. Wait, can we...
Good sound.
Want me?
Sure.
All right, for those, yeah.
Commentate.
I can't.
All right.
I can't.
Oh my God.
Open hand?
All right. Fight Club is actually occurring, ladies and gentlemen. For those
In
listening.
my face?
We're about to witness toxic masculinity. right now.
Exactly. Sam is assuming the position. Oh!
I missed.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Toxic masculinity lives to breathe and fight another day. Sam has old glass jaw Sammy has gone down in the first round with a critical haymaker from himself. For the record, Lauren did not swing a punch.
No. I was not allowed to.
No, she wasn't allowed.
But I'm down for the count.
But Sam is down for the count. On that note, we have been the Nostalgia Killers. Thank you so much for listening if you are still here. I am Chuck Starzenski and will continue to be Chuck Starzenski.
You forgot who you were.
I thought I was Tyler for a second, okay?
Dude, that's sick.
I've been Luc Londe.
I've been Sam Coughlin. I forgot y'all were here.
Yeah.
You gotta get closer.
You gotta get closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no.
Dude, I'm bad at everything.
This is hour 3.5.
Okay, all right.
Nobody's listening to this.
No.
It's all good.
I have been Lauren Heney.
I've been Sam Coughlin. I'm sorry, I wasn't close enough to the mic.
Oh, it's okay.
I'm still going to turn it down in the edit so it sounds like you're far away.
I've been Sam Coughlin.
Bang, bang.